It's another football championship Saturday in the natural state. Today at War Memorial Stadium, another doubleheader. 2 state champions will be crowned. It starts with the 3A title game between the Osceola Seminoles and the Booneville Bearcats. Welcome inside our broadcast booth. My name is Scott Inman. This is Bobby Swafford. Glad to have you with us. We'll introduce you to the third member of our broadcast team, Eric Sullivan, in just a moment. It is game number 5 on the 2 weekends of championship games, and everyone is different, Bobby, but certainly this weekend has a different feel than last. In the 5A title game, for instance, last Sunday, we had 50-degree weather, sunshine. They threw it all over the yard, 50 passes by the Pulaski Academy quarterback. Much different story today.
Much different story, and this is what you expect when you think small school state championship football. Second week in December, it's cold, it's raining, it's going to be a ground and pound. Who's got the bigger man mentality and come out and win a football game today?
Well, let's talk about the offenses. Osceola will have a spread offense, but they're not going to throw it around the yard. It is very run-dominated.
And that's pretty much on their head football coach. Mm-hmm. Coach Hooks is a former offensive line coach from Fort Bend Northside. On the other side of the state, goes all the way to the northeast corner, and they may be spread out. They may have the talent across the field, but they want to run the football first.
On the other side of the equation, a lot of running from Booneville, 58 passes all year.
And this is an offense that hasn't changed since probably 1960. They're going to run the wing tee. They're going to run double handoffs up the middle. They're going to give it to the fullback 20, maybe even 30 times. It's not complicated, but you got to find a way to stop it.
So let's take a look at a couple of the key players, because as you talk about that spread offense for Osceola, it starts and ends with the quarterback, and then there's a big rushing running back in Booneville.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll start with the Osceola quarterback. They throw it. They run it. They try to run it more than they throw it. And what they're going to do in the passing game, a lot of times it's going to be lateral passes. It's going to be throws right along the line of scrimmage, try to get their playmakers the ball in space on the outside and try to make you make a play in space. And a lot of times at the small school level, that's easier said than done.
So we talked about the weather a little bit, but it is miserable. Last night it was pretty rough for that 2A game. It may be even worse today, and Eric Sullivan is our sideline reporter. A little hazard pay again for you today.
Yeah, Bobby and Scott, it is very, very cold, much colder today, 35 degrees. We've seen a few snowflakes already and just a light rain, but we're expecting this all game long. And the biggest key of the game, guys, and Scott, we saw it last night, protecting the football all game long. And we look at Booneville's defense, they are plus 51 in turnovers. That is not a misprint. They can force the turnovers, and for Osceola, as athletic and fast as they are, they have put the ball on the ground 20 times this year, so keep your eyes on turnovers today. And then how about the mental side of this game? If Booneville or Osceola were to get a 14, 17-point lead, will these 16, 17, and 18-year-olds be able to handle these conditions and stay focused and not kind of check out because of the weather so bad? So if you were to get a lead, it could be a big, big thing today. But, guys, we saw it last night with Hazen. They put the ball on the ground way too many times, and that led to a Junction City State Championship. So I'll be running around here all day long. I want to thank so many friends I have for the rain gear they provided for me today. So a lot of fun, but you got to stay mentally focused in a game like this.
You are certainly more layered up than you were on Friday night. Good to see that. You should be staying a little warmer. So the Osceola quarterback, by the way, we didn't mention his name. Cam Turner is his name. He accounted for 401 yards of total offense against Risen in their semifinal win, 2,472 on the year, and 1,500 plus of that is through the air, but he has 922 yards rushing. Everything runs through him.
It really does, and he distributes the football well. They've got 3 running backs with at least 600 yards, including himself, rushing the football. He's got a couple big play guys on the outside. They like to spread the football out, but you're exactly right. It all starts with the man in the behind center, and that's Cam.
Now, on the quarterback side for Booneville, it's been a case of a kid thrust into action, not expected to, but he's done quite well.
You mentioned they've only thrown the ball 58 times all season long with junior Evan Schlinker. That's because he wasn't expected to be the quarterback all season long. Brandon Ulmer was an all-state quarterback for Booneville last year. They expected to be here at War Memorial Stadium with him leading the way, signed a baseball scholarship to play at Arkansas State, but he tore his ACL midway through the first quarter all the way back in week 0. And so they've had time to adjust to Schlinker, but I think that's why you see them hand the football to Carson Ray as much as they do. The fullback over 200 carries, almost 1,600 yards. When you've got a bell cow like that, you can kind of ease a quarterback into it even though they're about to enter their 15th game.
Anytime you talk about two teams teams that want to run the football, you got to talk about the line play.
That's right.
Let's talk about the comparison between those two lines.
When you look at Osceola, they're big. I mean, they're averaging 270 on the offensive line. They only have a three-man defensive front, averaging 260 on that side. But the question is going to be, Booneville's offensive line has moved everybody all season long. They've scored at least 28 points in every contest this season. Can their offensive line match the Osceola defensive line? When they line up in a 3-4 defense against a run-heavy offense, you got to have linebackers crashing down. Maybe see Osceola kind of change up the defensive game plan and get more guys on the line of scrimmage.
Wonder a little bit about the crowd today with the lousy weather. These two teams have to travel the longest distance, at least in terms of matchup. I know Greenwood had to go a long way. Junction City had to go a long way. But every matchup so far, there's been one team that was pretty close by. You got the northeast corner and the northwest corner. We'll see if they turn out that crowd factor. But there's a lot of tradition between these two teams. Right. Osceola has been here before, but it's been a while. Not as long for Booneville, but that tradition might play a part today as well.
Yeah, you mentioned Osceola hasn't won a state championship since 1997. Booneville been here a little more recently, looking for their second title in the last 6 seasons, 2013 when they won a 4A title. They've kind of bounced back and forth between 3A and 4A the last couple cycles, but I'd expect to see a lot of purple and gold on both sidelines. These are two football-rich communities, especially on the Booneville side. That is going to be an empty town, and I guarantee the police probably not going to be in town either.
Yeah, that's for sure. Close it up. Hey, by the way, big game coming up tonight in the 4A game, but we're just getting started in the pregame show, walking up to a noon kickoff between Booneville and Osceola. You can see the flag, so the wind is a factor. Light rain. Eric even said he's seen a few snowflakes, and we are just barely above freezing as we get set for a state championship game. The pregame show continues in just a moment from War Memorial Stadium. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
One of the best things about being a community-focused bank like Centennial is that we encourage our employees to volunteer and give back. That's why our bankers are often seen around town involved in activities that have less to do with money matters and more to do with supporting others. From charity events and disaster relief to Chamber of Commerce and civic activities, we enjoy rolling up our sleeves and helping make our community a better place. See for yourself the difference our local commitment can make. More information available at my100bank.com. Centennial Bank, member FDIC.
Stadium. School spirit is a huge part of what make high school sports special. But at Northside High School, they take school spirit to a whole new level as a way to teach their students valuable lessons in business, marketing, branding, merchandising, and more. Check out their Grizzly gear.
As students become involved with Grizzly gear, they develop tools that will lead them into the next part of their life. The students are involved in every aspect of running the store. They are the cashiers, they maintain the inventory room, they sweep the floor, they take out the trash, they design the window displays.
There's so many students who come into this program and they know they want to go to college, but they don't know what they're good at. There's so many things that you can do and you're just not stuck to one option. For the schools that don't have a program like this, please get one. Can't tell them how much school spirit, how much school love and school participation is just put into this store. I've thought I wanted to do nursing since the 7th grade, and just this 1 year, I realized I have so much other talents that I didn't even know I had. So this is just amazing.
That, by the way, was from Cool Schools, a digital series launching this spring on AETN.org. We'll continue from War Memorial Stadium with more of our pregame coverage leading up to Osceola and Booneville in the 3A state championship game. Next, you're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home, to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Why choose local? Because local companies stay rooted in their communities. They support other local businesses and provide jobs for your friends and neighbors. At Fidelity Communications, we take great pride in being a local company that's dedicated to the communities we serve. Jobs and opportunities for the people you love. That's why you choose local. Fidelity Communications. We're here, we're local. Be connected with Fidelity, your local internet, TV, and home phone provider.
Welcome back to AETN Sports as we are now joined by the Seminoles head coach from Osceola, Robert Hooks. And, Coach, congratulations on making it to this point.
Thank you.
Man, when you look at your team, this is a team that has a high-powered offense. You guys beat Rising last week 37-28. And really, when you look at a team like Rising, that's a team that has been to the state championship multiple times. I had to feel good for you guys to get out of that game and make it here.
Yes, sir. First off, Rising, a very tradition-rich football club and a very well coached football team, and just excited to get a W on them and to finish the game.
You know, when you look at your team in 2016, which was not long ago, you guys only won 2 games, and then in 17 won 11, and then this year you win 12 games. That's a testament to you as a coach, but really these players as well.
Right. I give all that credit to God and the players. You know, you come in year one and sell the kids a dream, and they bought it and really excelled in the off season. You know, games are won and lost from January until August. That's where you win the football games. That's where you build your mentality, and those kids have worked their tails off.
You know, when you look at your team, really Cam Turner, your quarterback, he's kind of your do-it-all guy. I know there's a lot of players, a lot of pieces to this team, but Cam Turner does it through the air and on the ground. He's thrown for over 1,500 yards, almost 1,600 yards, and has rushed for over 900 yards.
Yes, Cam's a very versatile guy. Young, you know, he's only a sophomore, and he's coming and giving us a spark, and he's done that, and he hadn't started the whole season. So just a guy that the guys rally around, and he keeps us going, and he makes me a good coach. He gets me out of a lot of bad situations.
You know, you said that he didn't play the first half of the season. How has the team responded to him kind of taking over? And I know anytime you're winning, that's always helpful, but anytime you get a new player, especially at the quarterback position, how did the team respond to that?
Well, the team has responded to, we have 3 quarterbacks that we could play. They rally around each and every one of them, but, you know, right now Cam is the guy that we're going with, and he's the guy that has propelled us here, and I'm excited that he's on my football team.
When you look at Booneville, this is a team that, once again, you're facing another team that is tradition-rich. What do you got to do to slow them down?
Stop the run. You can't let them get big plays, big chunk plays. Have to limit them on first down. You have to beat them on first down.
Yeah.
If you slow them down on first down, I think you give yourself an opportunity, because playing teams like that typically we get 12 to 14 possessions. They're going to limit our possessions to about 8 to 10. So we want to make sure that we're good on first down.
Now, you look at your team, and it's been since 1998 that you've played in this game, but 1997 since you won a state title. Well, I would imagine the folks on the eastern side of the state are ready for a state championship.
I tell you what, the community, I can't say enough about them. They're very excited about this. I tell you how excited they are. After the game on Friday, they just rushed on the field. I didn't get a chance to talk to the kids after the game, just because everybody so excited. So the community, they will show up and be here. I'm excited about that.
Ought to be a lot of fun. Good luck today, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is head coach Robert Hooks as he's getting ready for today's game against the Booneville Bearcats. We've got more of the championships up next right here on AETN Sports.
Rock me any day. difference is much more than just vehicle sales and service. It's also our commitment to helping those who help others, like those who work to build communities, those who help to enrich the lives of children, those who provide a loving home to kids in need, and those who lend a helping hand when you need it. It's a privilege to work with these wonderful organizations, and we're grateful for everything they do. That's the Everett difference. Everett Buick GMC.
We're here with Booneville head coach Scott Hyatt. And, Coach, congratulations on making it to the state championship game.
Thank you.
You know, when you look at your team, you guys are 14-0 on the year. And you think about Booneville over the years, you guys, a tradition in football to where every year you guys want to finish here at War Memorial Stadium. But to do it undefeated, that's always fun.
I mean, you got to have some breaks go your way to go undefeated, and especially get to this game and win it. You just got to have some breaks and have some luck and play well.
You know, talking about breaks and luck, you lost your quarterback at the beginning of the season and had to go with the backup, but that's pretty impressive when you lose a 3-year starter at the quarterback position. You come in with a backup, and you still go undefeated to get here.
Yeah, well, you know, we got a good group of kids this year, and you know, losing Brandon, of course, hurt. I mean, he's a big-time player. Evan stepped in and done a good job. The other kids have had his back, and it's worked out.
Now, when you look at your running back position, speaking of injuries, Carson Ray, there's a kid last year that tore his ACL. Now he's back this year, and he's rushed for 1,300 yards, almost 1,400 yards, and 24 touchdowns. Not only do you have a good quarterback, but you also got a good running back.
He didn't tear his ACL, but it was like an ACL strain.
Okay.
But he missed a few games. But, yeah, he's come back, and he's had a great year this year. He's one of the leaders on the team and does a great job.
Now, let's talk about defensively for you guys. When you look at Osceola, what do you guys got to do defensively to slow them down?
I don't know. We're still trying to figure that out. I messed with Coach Hooks a while ago. But, we're just going to have to play well. Great technique. We're going to have to tackle well. We can't have busted assignments, and, we're going to have to contain them.
What's the game plan for you guys whenever you attack them offensively?
I mean, it's just our same MO all the time. We're going to try to hold the ball as much as we can and keep it away from them as much as we can.
You go back to the semifinal game. You guys played Prescott, won that game 34-31. A close ball game in that one. What was the key to success for you guys in the Prescott game?
I think, that game got down to who had the ball last. I mean, they're a very good football team. There was one turnover in that game, and I think that was the factor, and it was the last play of the game. So, I mean, that was huge.
Well, Coach, good luck today, and we appreciate everything. We'll talk to you after the game.
All right, man.
Appreciate you. That was Scott Hyatt, the head coach of the Booneville Bearcats. When we come back, we'll have more of the state championship game here at War Memorial Stadium on AETN Sports.
It's Osceola and Booneville coming up in just a few minutes. Pee Wee football is when many of these kids get their first taste of organized football. And by kids, that usually means boys. But one Kensett 6th grader is flipping the script on that stereotype in her own unique way.
My name is Jada Tatiana Nicole Osceola, and I play guard and tackle, and I love hitting boys.
She's changed the way I believe in girls playing football. I thought she ain't gonna make it. But as soon as we put her in pads, she got out there and choked the first kid. I said, yep, she's gonna make it. Because at first, they really can't tell she's a girl, just other than her ponytail hanging out of the back of her helmet. They was like, number 46 is pretty good. And I was like, yeah, she's a girl. And they couldn't hardly believe it.
Girls can do things boys can do, but boys don't think they can.
She has really, inspired a lot of kids to play. Like I said, we've got girls that want to play all the time, but everybody just can't do what she does. You just can't get out there and play smash mouth football like she does. A lot of these girls can't.
My name is Jada Tatiana Nicole Osceola. I play guard and tackle, and you're watching AETN Sports.
Jada and her teammates won the Super Bowl this year for their area Pee Wee League. Our congratulations to them. We'll be back to War Memorial Stadium in just a moment. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
being a Globetrotter, you get to bring a whole family together. PBS gives your kids and your family a little foundation. With Arthur, you're able to relate to some of the messages as far as going to school, interacting with other kids, how to handle a bully. PBS is going to help your kids grow. I'd rather my kids get that experience from something that I trust that I grew up on, like PBS.
Just a few minutes away now from kickoff as we welcome you back to our pregame coverage. As you know, our game today is taking place at War Memorial Stadium, which was dedicated 70 years ago to our fallen war heroes. AETN's Chuck Dovish takes a look back at some of the amazing sports and entertainment history that's taken place at this venerable venue.
War Memorial Stadium was dedicated in 1948 as a tribute to all Arkansans who gave their lives during the 2 world wars and later included all wars. It's one of very few stadiums in the country to be dedicated to such an important cause. War Memorial Stadium's first event on September 18, 1948 was, of course, a Razorback football game against Abilene Christian. It was before that game when the stadium was formally dedicated, and the rest, as they say, is history. From that day forward, this stadium became the secondary home for the Fayetteville-based Razorbacks. Many an Arkansas football coach legend would play many a game here, from Frank Broyles to Lou Holtz and on. Sure, Fayetteville may have its mega stadium, but War Memorial has always been the football lover's favorite, simply because it hasn't gone crazy with the stands reaching for the skies. Here, basically every seat is a good seat. Even if you're at the top of the stands, you won't get lightheaded or need binoculars to see the players. Beyond sports, War Memorial's event list is quite impressive. Various top-name artists in the entertainment field have performed here, from the Rolling Stones on down. Hey, it's only rock and roll. War Memorial Stadium also hosted not one but 2 Billy Graham Crusades in 1959 and 1989, drawing hundreds of thousands of people. And so, whether it's sports, entertainment, or other events, War Memorial Stadium has been home to history for 70 years. It's been Arkansas's most beloved venue and will continue to be so, while at the same time serving as a distinguished memorial to all those who have served this country and made the ultimate sacrifice.
And we welcome you back live to War Memorial Stadium. The stadium continues to make history as the home of the state finals. Hey, make sure to catch Chuck Dovish on Exploring Arkansas every weeknight at 10 p.m. on AETN. As we welcome you back into the broadcast booth, we are about 11 minutes away from kickoff of the 3A state championship game, and we'd love to tell you that the weather has improved since we were away. It has not.
Well, it depends on which side you're sitting on. For Osceola, the weather's probably getting worse, but if you're Booneville, a team that does not throw the football, a team that loves to force turnovers and has forced a bunch of them, this is perfect weather for the Bearcats.
Yeah, let's go down and get a weather update with a third member of our broadcast crew, Eric Sullivan. Eric?
Yeah, Scott and Bobby, it has gotten, I think, a lot worse since we're getting ready for the pregame show, and we got the camera on right now. Steady rain. It feels like it's even gotten colder since the 11:30 mark. So as you told me before we went on, Scott, it's time to man up. Will Osceola come out here and man up early, or will Booneville get that powerful rushing game going? And as I kind of mentioned in the pregame, guys, I'm going to really keep my eyes on the players and their mental state of mind, because you just don't sign up to play in this kind of stuff in a state championship game. But it is what it is. Who's going to be the team that, like you says, mans up today?
All right, Eric, thank you very much. Got to say a shout-out to the fans, too, especially the Booneville side. They have really filled it up over there.
And this is not a short drive. You mentioned it in the pregame. It's about a 2 hour and a half drive from Booneville to get to this point, but it's an impressive showing for Booneville. You knew they were going to show up trying to get their 4th state championship.
Well, you've heard from the coaches. You've seen the pregame packages. We are getting a little bit closer to kickoff. The teams will be out shortly. We'll have the coin toss live. We're going to take a break right now, though. Be back to War Memorial in just a moment. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
being a Globetrotter, you get to bring a whole family together. PBS gives your kids and your family a little foundation. With Arthur, you're able to relate to some of the messages as far as going to school, interacting with other kids, how to handle a bully. PBS is going to help your kids grow. I'd rather my kids get that experience from something that I trust that I grew up on, like PBS.
Antiques Roadshow's Season 18 tour was bigger and better with more cities, more treasures, and more happy Roadshow fans.
I've never seen anything quite as remarkable as this.
Oh my, I am astounded.
So tune into the first hour of Antiques Roadshow, Junk in the Trunk 4, right here on this PBS station.
Monday night at 7.
Osceola and Booneville for the 3A state championship game, the first half of our doubleheader on Championship Saturday, number 2 for high school state football. And we appreciate you joining us on AETN Sports. The Bearcats and the Seminoles just a few minutes away from kicking off as we welcome you back to a few more minutes of pregame show coverage. We talked a little bit about the key players in today's game. If you missed that early on in the pregame show, we'll talk a little bit about them again. And when you start with Booneville, we talked about the quarterback, Evan Schlinker, coming in because of the injury to the starting quarterback. He has great talent in the backfield to support him. And really, Bobby, it starts with Carson Ray.
It really does. You've got a fullback who's every bit of 200 pounds, stands 5'7". That's what you call a bowling ball in high school football. And he's really hard to get on the ground. Low center of gravity, almost 1,600 yards. Set the school record for touchdowns last season. Has 30 touchdowns this season for the Bearcats. And what's really interesting about Booneville and about the Ray family, the entire community buys into the football program. He's actually the third player from his family. His grandfather and his father both ran for 1,000 yards wearing a Booneville uniform. Today, he's obviously got over that mark, but he's trying to become the first to win a state title.
130 yards rushing last week for Carson Ray, but he's not doing it alone. He's got 1,500, almost 1,600 yards rushing, but the other two guys back there, Andrew Robertson with 934 yards rushing on the year, a 5'6", 145-pound junior. He'll be number 2 if you're watching today. And then number 4, Michael Hessen, 5'11", 165, a junior as well. So a couple of juniors back there, 737 yards rushing, a 7.5 yards per carry average, and 11 touchdowns. I mean, these guys score a lot of points, and they don't give up much.
And it's an offense that's really difficult to identify at the line of scrimmage. There's a lot of motion, a lot of fake handoffs, even a couple double handoffs in the backfield from the wing T attack. You mentioned the number of touchdowns. Robertson with 12, Hessen with 11. That's going to lead most teams across the state of Arkansas in rushing touchdowns. That's number 2 and 3, and they're not even close to Ray's 30. So between those 3 guys, do the quick math, that's 53 rushing touchdowns between 3 guys who are in the backfield. That's a reason why this team has scored at least 28 points in every contest they've played this season.
Now, when you talk about the passing game, we mentioned that the Bearcats had only thrown 1 pass in their semifinal game last week. Evan Schlinker has thrown only 58 all season for 570 yards. He's completed 32 of those passes, and 17 of them went to one guy.
Yeah, Ethan Dobbs is their playmaker. 8 touchdowns for Dobbs, 17 catches, over 300 yards. Kind of like what we saw with Hazen last night. They're not going to throw it a ton, but when they do, it's effective because you kind of lull the defense into a false sense of security. Okay, run. All of a sudden, they're going to hit you with the play-action pass, and you got to be fundamentally sound and protect the deep ball.
Dobbs is wearing number 23 if you're watching today. Let's go ahead and check in with Eric Sullivan again. Eric?
Yeah, Scott and Bobby, we were getting very close. Both teams are making their way out of the tunnel, and props to the dads again this weekend for keeping down their inflatable mascots that they run out of because the wind and rain not helping there. And I wanted to ask you guys, think about Cam Turner of Osceola. Here's a sophomore, guys, has his team in the state championship game. And Scott and Bobby, we've seen it over the landscape of sports. Sometimes that's almost a good thing being so young. He's not thinking about too much, but boy, the pressure can get to them very quickly. I'm anxious to see how he comes out and starts for the Seminoles.
Yeah, you're right. 4 games of 100 yards rushing or more for Cam Turner. So he's going to do it with his legs, 922 on the ground, 1,550 yards through the air. So almost 2,500 total yards for the sophomore quarterback Cam Turner, and he did not play for about the first half of the season, we're told by Coach Robert Hooks, too. So a lot of those numbers have been put up in the second half of the season.
Yeah, you think about 38 touchdowns in only half of a season, the type of numbers that Osceola has put up. But you look at the schedule, there are multiple contests that they put up 60 points in a game. They really ran roughshod through the middle of their conference schedule and even the first couple rounds of these 3A playoffs. But they've been tested the last couple of weeks, found a way to grind out some games. And a lot of times when you blow out so many opponents, you never know how you're going to react to a close game. Both of these teams won close games the last couple of weeks.
9th state championship appearance for the Booneville Bearcats. 5th state title appearance for the Osceola Seminoles. They have 2 championships, 3 state titles for Booneville. So some tradition on both sidelines today as we get set for the coin toss. Looking at the radar, looks like it's still all liquid precipitation, but just north of Conway, we're getting a little bit of a mix. So we'll see if the temperature slides all. We may be looking at a little bit of winter precipitation before the day is done. Let's check out the coin toss.
That's what we want in December anyway.
Not sure if the ref has his mic on. He hasn't turned his mic on. He's talking to the players, but not picking it up on our broadcast yet, showing him the, I guess, commemorative coin there that he's about to flip. Looks like it's going to be Booneville that wins the toss.
Nice to see number 11 out there, Brandon Ulmer, starting quarterback, tore his ACL in the season opener. You never want to miss your senior season, but at least part of the squad today.
So Booneville did win the toss. They have elected to defer to the second half, so it'll be the Seminoles on offense to start us out in the 3A championship game.
Booneville won the toss, deferred its selection.
Yeah, going back to that radar. It just depends on the temperature, doesn't it? If we get down closer to 32, we may be looking at a little bit of winter precipitation. Earlier on, Eric said he saw some. Looks like it's all snow up in the Osceola area, so...
Yeah, Scott, I was just getting some texts from some friends saying in that Conway area, it's getting pretty dicey, and that's really not very far from us here at War Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, Booneville looks like it's getting a little bit too, so hope these parents and fans of Booneville and Osceola have thought maybe a little bit about a hotel room.
Well, it looks like most of Booneville is probably here. So
they are.
They're going to probably be at the same hotel, but the beauty of AETN and the AAA partnering to get these games on television, you didn't have to battle the elements. You can sit back and turn on the heater at the house and watch it right here.
It's been some good football, too. Last weekend we had rematches in all 3 of the state championship matches, and 2 of them highly competitive into the fourth quarter. Last night, of course, the 2A championship game with Hazen having a lead on Junction City until the fourth quarter. And the tables turned, and it was a game not decided until the final few minutes as well. Really no blowouts other than really the Greenwood game. Greenwood and Benton. Greenwood able to get a big lead on the Benton Panthers, but other than that, they've all been very tight.
Yeah, and you're not expecting it today to be much of a blowout either unless turnovers are a factor. Eric mentioned the ball security. He mentioned the plus-minus and the turnover factor for Booneville, and Osceola has put the football on the ground 20 times this season. That's the key to this game, especially in this first quarter as they try to fill each other out. These 2 teams, Scott, have not met since 2008. That was in the second round of the playoffs. Osceola won that one.
We've got another rematch tonight in the 4A championship game as well. 2 teams that met in the regular season with Arkadelphia and Joe T. Robinson.
Back in the regular season, you don't see a team start 0-5 very often to make it to War Memorial, but that's exactly what the Badgers have done. We'll talk about that one tonight, though.
Yeah, a lot of great storylines. And the special effects in force. Here come the Booneville Bearcats. The smoke machine working for Osceola, too. Here come the Seminoles. You ever get to run through any tunnels like that in high school, Bobby?
No. I was lucky. I played in Oklahoma. We actually had a horse and rider for one. We were the Rangers, so that was about as unique as it got for us.
Everybody's got the show now, for sure. A lot of fun watching them run through that tunnel. The kids' memories of running out on the War Memorial, onto the field at War Memorial. They'll always remember this moment. And now it's time for some football.
Nerve, Scott, who handles them the best. Neither one of these teams have been in the state championship during their high school careers. So how do you handle the emotions of playing on this big stage as you play all season long with the hopes of playing inside War Memorial Stadium, the state championship on the line? Now that you're here, how can you handle the moment?
Four football champions have been crowned in 2018. Which football team will be the 3A champion?
Ian Suttles and Ethan Dobbs are back deep.
Kick is taken at the 34-yard line.
And Osceola will take it by an up back up at the 38-yard line, and it'll be good field position to start for the Seminoles.
Neither one of these teams are going to excel in the kicking game, not because of a lack of talent, just because of the wind. We saw it a lot last weekend in the first weekend of the championship games, and today the wind is really whipping in. I believe that is from the north, so kicking is going to be an adventure today here at War Memorial.
It's a 25-yard kickoff, just a 3-yard return. And look at this formation to start for the Seminoles.
Barry Switzer's proud.
Wow. And Cam Turner out onto the field calling the shots with nobody within 15 yards of him on the left side of the line. He gives it on the end around. And a good defensive pursuit by the Booneville Bearcats. The ball carrier is Jeremiah Tobar, but he's going to lose 4.
Nice job by Michael Hessen. Recognizes the play, goes with the motion, and able to make the one-on-one tackle in open field. You know, Osceola's been practicing that formation all week long in preparation, and Booneville comes out and shuts it down.
Second down and 14 back at the 35-yard line. It'll be a spread offense. Now back more to that conventional formation for Cam Turner and Osceola. Play fake, and he'll swing it out to the left side to Peyton Burks. And Burks gets positive yardage, but he is chased down from behind after crossing the 40-yard line by Jeremy Elliott from the Bearcats. He will pick up about 8 or 9 yards, bringing up a manageable third down.
That's what we're going to see a lot of from Osceola, a lot of horizontal passing, get the ball to their playmakers in space and try to let them create things on their own.
Stanton Burks in the backfield with Cam Turner as they bring the play in on the sidelines, or from the sidelines, and a big third down early in the game. Handoff end around to Burks. Burks gets the edge, but he's going to be close.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, I think he got it.
Yeah, looking at the far official, looks like he's going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and that's a big first down. You always want to come out and not only set the tone on the opening drive of a game, but get something going. Get your confidence going a little bit. But it looks like there's a flag back behind the play. Maybe that's just a handkerchief. Coming back.
So the first down negated. David Coleman, our referee today for the 3A state championship game.
That's a big penalty, Scott. You're talking about getting a first down near midfield. Now you're faced with a 3rd and 10 or 11 for Osceola. First part of adversity, how do you respond to that if you're the Seminoles?
J.D. Wenda, the back in the backfield with Turner on a 3rd down and 10 play now for the Seminoles. Turner to throw for the first time. A lot of air under it, but he's got a man. It's complete to Greg Hooks, but he drops it. The ball is on the ground, and Booneville has recovered. We talked about the turnovers in the pregame show, and right away, Jeremy Elliott falls on it for the Bearcats.
Ethan Dobbs was right there to cause the fumble for Booneville. He's been their playmaker all season long, leads the team with 9 pass deflections, leads them with 6 interceptions, gets there right at the time the ball arrives, able to knock the football loose, and Booneville creates the first big break of this football game.
Talked about all those takeaways that they have produced, and they get a big one there on a big jarring hit. After Osceola had a penalty erase of first down, now it's Booneville on the march. And the handoff goes to Andrew Robertson, and Robertson breaks free into the secondary, heads to the pylon, one play, and it's a touchdown. 33 yards.
Amazing how quickly momentum can shift. You think Osceola has a first down, penalty erases that, the turnover, and Booneville, which they've done it all season long, have hit the big play. Andrew Robertson to the house, and all of a sudden Booneville has an early lead.
13th touchdown of the season for Andrew Robertson. And the Bearcats, one play, 6 points.
If you're Scott Hyatt and the Booneville coaching staff, you cannot ask for a more perfect start to this football game. They're going to try to tack on the extra point and make this a 7-0 lead.
Gavin Kent. The snap is down, and Kent puts it up. And good. We played less than 2 minutes in the 3A state title game at War Memorial Stadium. And Booneville uses a turnover and turns it into points. We're back to the stadium after this. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
PBS Kids is celebrating the holidays. Love this time of year. With a brand new movie from Let's Go Luna.
Everybody ready? Great!
Sure, this has your traditional tree, but it also has a special witch, donkey, and a very important Christmas log.
Christmas log? Yeah!
It's Luna's Christmas Around the World, a holiday movie event, starting Monday, December 10th on PBS Kids.
Honey, the Yule hamster is ready too!
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car, to your first home, to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
A 33-yard touchdown run by Andrew Robertson gives Booneville the early lead as we go down to the sidelines and check in with Eric.
Yeah, Bobby Swafford mentioned what a start for Booneville to get that turnover, get the touchdown. On the Osceola sideline here, can they get their focus back? Because you don't want someone to get a big lead in this weather. So we'll see how the Seminoles respond right now.
And a little chip shot bobbled, but Osceola will fall on it. Peyton Burks with the recovery there, and he goes to the knee to get it. Good field position starting off, only a 15-yard kickoff, so the Seminoles will be near midfield to start.
Kind of to piggyback off what Eric said there, not only do you need to come up with a response so this game doesn't get out of the way, the weather has a lot to do with that. When it's cold, when it's raining, and all of a sudden you fall behind by a score or two, that's when games can really get out of hand. Seminole needs to get the offense going.
J.D. Winda in the backfield with quarterback Cam Turner. Nearly 2,500 yards of total offense for Turner. He hands it off to Winda. He changes directions big time. Started right, comes back left. There's nothing there. Nothing there. Ball came loose again, but Winda was already down. It'll be a loss of 3. Stop made by a host of Bearcats. Jeremy Elliott right in there, one of the first guys to him.
Elliott gets credit for the tackle, but look at the defensive end on that side, number 28, able to force the ball back into the middle of the Booneville defense, allows the rest of his teammates time to get around and clean it up.
So the Seminoles behind the sticks again. The penalty stopped them the first time. Now the Booneville run defense pushes them back. Turner to throw. It's a quick strike. Out to Travion Moore, but he gets very little room to run. Got back to the line of scrimmage. Cam Brasher there to make the stop.
Brasher's made big plays all season long, 92 tackles, made an interception at the goal line with just 10 seconds left last week against Prescott that iced away the win away for the Booneville Bearcats. And he's a guy, if he has a big day, Booneville's going to have a big day.
Well, the Seminoles still officially looking for their first down of the game. Burks is in the backfield now again. Moves to the right of Cam Turner. Passing down again. Turner moves the pocket. Looks sidelines, and it's dropped. Boy, he had a guy right there. It was Moore again. Now, he was short of the sticks. Not sure if he'd have gotten the first down, but he did not help his quarterback.
Those are the type of plays you have to make. Booneville drops into a quarters defense, which means allows they're dropping 4 guys back and allowing anything underneath to be completed. Osceola made the right read as far as the throw, but the receiver can't make the play, and now Coach Hooks has no decision to make. Got to send the punt team out.
Mikey Hessen and Ethan Dobbs back deep for Booneville to return the kick. Whew. And Booneville almost got to it. Not sure if they touched that or just forced an errant punt, but it barely crossed the line of scrimmage. Jacob O'Kane was the punter. That's about a 1-yard kick. Wow. Booneville will have great starting field position again.
Not only did the punt get too high in this wind, which is going to knock it down once it hits, it bounced backwards, another advantage for Booneville, and now they have their second off-pistol possession of this first quarter. Both have started on Osceola's side of the 50.
Last time it took only one play to get it in the end zone. Evan Schlinker will go under center on a first down play. That will prompt flags and whistles before the snap of the football. There were a lot of people moving early.
Prior to the snap infraction on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And that's something that we haven't talked about yet up to this point. Osceola is going to line up in a shotgun on every down. Saw Hazen have some difficulties with it last night with the conditions.
Yep.
How well is that quarterback center exchange going to be? And right here are the first mistakes made by the Booneville offense, but when you're under center, false start's a whole lot better than a fumble.
Carson Ray's the running back. And he gets the handoff on the quick hitter, gets inside the 45-yard line. He's still well shy of the original line of scrimmage, so it's going to be second and long.
Osceola's stout up front, and it's all going to start with number 64. He's saying 6 foot even, but 333 pounds. He's going to need to have a big day in the middle of that Osceola defensive line to slow down any threat of Booneville's run attack.
Yeah, this is a big series early in the game for the Osceola defense, no doubt. They've got an opportunity to get off the field thanks to the penalty and the early first down stop. And more whistles and flags before the snap again. Somebody jumped across this time, maybe. I think this might be on Osceola.
Encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Booneville back in front of the sticks, second and less than 10.
Hey, you can watch all of the championship games as many times as you want online beginning Monday at aetn.org/sports.
So it's 2nd and 8 from the 40.
Out of that wing slot formation, the fake goes to Ray. And it goes to Robertson, who scored the touchdown. Michael Hessen gets the carry. He gets back across the 40-yard line to about the 39. So it's a pickup of about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Jason Ugalde with the stop for the Seminoles.
That's what's so important about this Booneville offense and why it makes it so difficult to slow down. You've got motion from the flex bone. There's 3 guys on every snap, and not including the quarterback who can do damage with his legs.
Big 3rd down and 7 play. And the Bearcats will be short of the first down. Marlon Vance with the stop for Osceola. They get 3 and an early decision time here for Coach Scott Hyatt.
With the way his defense has played on the first 2 possessions of the game, why not go for it? I don't think a punt is going to do you a whole lot of good. If you punt it into the end zone, it's going to be a net of about 16 yards. And so I'd like to see Scott Hyatt roll the dice, and it looks like he might.
We'll call it 4th and 4. And they're going to throw. Schlinker. Nobody's home. Intended for Hessen, the closest guy to it. Pretty well covered by Osceola.
It's a great job by the Seminoles defense. They knew that as a prime position for Booneville to go play action pass, and they did it. Had 3 guys blanketing the Booneville intended man and get their offense back on the field.
Yeah, he may have just been throwing that away, in fact, because he did not have an open receiver anywhere near that pass. And Osceola gets the stop they needed on defense. trying to overcome a first quarter turnover. But the Booneville defense has been pretty stout so far. Turner swings it out. But again, the Booneville defense is all over the receiver. Jeremiah Tobar had nowhere to go. No chance to get upfield. Loss of 3.
It's Noah Reyes. He wears a couple different jerseys. I believe one of them got shredded. That's why he's had to switch to number 28. He's going to be all over the field for this Booneville defense. He's been a playmaker for them all season long.
Yeah, we had him at number 55.
Yep. 60 tackles coming into today.
What were they doing to shred jerseys there, Bobby? What's going on?
When you play like Booneville does, you're going to have some casualties.
Turner's going to throw. Boy, he's going to have to be flushed. And now he's going to the feet, which he is so good at doing, but he gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. Anthony McKesson there to run him down. They'll give him a yard, maybe even 2, but it's going to be 3rd down and long here for Osceola.
And this is a down and distance that Osceola is wanting to avoid, but this is their 3rd straight possession. They're facing a 3rd and 10 or more. This is not a situation that they're going to be successful in against a defense as opportunistic as Booneville's.
You could see if Turner does get an open field, he can be dangerous. Very fluid with the way he runs. But he's going to be in the pocket on 3rd and long, headed towards the out route, and it's in and out of the hands of an intended receiver, Greg Hooks.
Couldn't connect with his man there, but you can see that Booneville is willing to give everything underneath. You know, Ethan Dobbs, they're well off in coverage, even on the 12-yard out route on the 3rd and 10. He was going to give that underneath route. Booneville's not letting anything over the top.
You can get updates and news about the state finals right on your phone. You can text AETN Sports to 313131. Big day of football at War Memorial. Just getting started, the first game of a doubleheader. And another short punt. That's going to be down at about the 39-yard line. 4-yard punt.
Got a punt of 1 and now a punt of 4. It's in the first quarter, 4:38 left in this first period. But if you're Osceola and you now have 2 punts and you're averaging 2.5 yards per kick, you hate to think that all 100 yards is 4-down territory, but it may be leaning that direction, especially as they go north and the wind's whipping in from that direction.
So the Bearcats with their 3rd offensive possession, all 3 have started in Osceola's territory. And the handoff goes to Robertson. Robertson looking for room around the left edge, and he will not find it.
There's too much traffic in the backfield, a slow developing play.
Yep.
Robertson takes the handoff on the end around, if you want to call it that, and there's not enough push up front for Booneville. Give credit to the Seminoles front. Move the line of scrimmage back, and positive play for the Osceola defense.
It is an old school offense, isn't it? That Booneville offense. You remember they call it the wing slot because they're really a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage than you would be maybe in the wing T. All sorts of variations, but it's about motion. And they get the guys going around the end. Then you got Ray, and here's the pitch to Ray. Ray breaks 1 tackle and gets to the 41-yard line. That's a pickup of 3 yards. J.D. Window with good pursuit.
You know, this is an offense that's really gone by the wayside at college football, but Georgia Tech has run it forever with Paul Johnson. It's really easy to see what's happening from our vantage point. It's really confusing if you get down on field level. We can talk with Eric in just a few minutes about how difficult it is to pick up the football when you're level with the line of scrimmage, and that's what it's all about. It's all about confusion and misdirection.
I mean, it has some RPO principles to it. I mean, there's a lot of misdirection going on. And the ball on the ground. It's recovered by Osceola. Jason Ugalde falls on it. Just a mishap with the handoff. And the turnover margin now even.
That's the option read. He has the option to keep it or pull it. Schlinker tries to pull it. He and Ray not on the same page. Add the conditions, the wet ball means a fumble on the field, and Osceola creates a little break for themselves.
Yeah, just miscommunication there between Schlinker and Ray. And the Seminoles get it back. The whole game pretty much is taking place between the 30s right now. Maybe even between the 40s. As we close in on 3 minutes left in this first quarter. They'll fake the end around. Good time for Turner going deep upfield, but back there is a Booneville Bearcat. It's incomplete. Boy, Ethan Dobbs looked like he picked it, but I guess he was out of bounds.
They're trying to get J.D. Winda on the wheel right coming out of the backfield, but excellent coverage by Booneville secondary and over the top. It looked like he might have picked that one off, but maybe didn't hold on, maybe didn't get down a foot in bounds.
Yeah, very close. Turner scrambling. And Turner gets to the line of scrimmage and not much else. They will push the pack forward. Still no whistle, so it's going to turn into a pretty good gain. Marcus Nichols got him wrapped up, but he got in there with his offensive lineman, did Turner, and they pushed the pack forward. That's going to end up being about 5 or 6 yard gain.
That's the type of play that could really frustrate a defense. Noah Reyes has him dead to rights in the backfield, makes him miss, and all of a sudden what looks like it's going to be a loss of 3 or 4 and a sack. It's a 5 yard gain, and now third and manageable for this Osceola offense.
Greg Hooks is the by far #1 target of Cam Turner. 42 catches on the year. He's number 3. Let's see if he's looking for him on this third down and short 5 play. He is. No, it's actually number 5, Jarek Scales, who makes the first down catch, and they will move the sticks.
23rd catch of the season. They've got 3 guys they like to go to, Hook, Scales, and Travion Moore. That time it's Scales, the big catch, and they're in the Booneville territory for the first time.
9 yard pass and catch, and the Seminoles in plus territory for the first time. They'll go on the end around again. Burks. Nope, it's Scales again, and Scales turns it upfield. He's run out of bounds at the 36 yard line.
Jeremy Elliott looked like he had the angle, but speed took over at the end, couldn't quite get the ball carrier on the ground, and all of a sudden the Osceola offense has some momentum.
It's a 7 yard pickup. 2nd down and 3. Seminoles do indeed start to get a little bit of momentum. They're bringing their receivers in motion in that end-around play, trying to get their speed to their advantage out in space. Turner keeps it on the ground to Winda, and Winda has a big hole around the end. Winda's inside the 20. Ethan Dobbs makes the stop after an 18-yard run.
You can see Osceola's having success on the outside. They're avoiding the middle of this Booneville defense. That's where Reyes is. That's where big number 77, the defensive tackle for the Bearcats, Court Mizell, resides. He's 350 pounds. They're having success to the outside and running away from the big Bearcats.
Turner keeps it on the ground again.
Handoff to number 32, Titus Harris.
Osceola weathered the storm, turned the football over, a couple bad punts, and now they get mounted a drive. It's amazing how quickly momentum can shift just on simple as 1 first down or 1 fumble recovery.
Titus Harris, the ball carrier on that play, and now Jeremiah Tobar with a ball carrier, and he gets close to the 10-yard line, but he's going to be well short of the first down. It's a pickup of about 4. So a 3rd down and 2 play coming up. And Osceola going tempo. Right up on the line. Very compact formation on this 3rd and short play. Turner's going to keep it and be pushed by Harris from the backfield.
Didn't get it.
And I don't think he did, but I bet they go for it. Well, we'll see. We'll see about the field goal situation here with the wind.
You know, it used to be that was illegal. That was called aiding the runner. Anymore, it started with Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart for USC a few years ago against Notre Dame, but anymore, that's what everybody runs. You just line up behind the quarterback and push him forward. It looks like Osceola's going to try the swinging gate again.
Did not work the first time. They did this on the opening play of the game, and now they're going to do it on what could be the final play of the first quarter.
4th and 2 for the Seminoles.
They will have to snap it before the quarter ends, and they may call a timeout. They are. So they're going to call a timeout with 4 seconds left in the first quarter. They did not want to snap it with the swinging gate, Bobby.
Give credit to Booneville's defense. Not only did they line up correctly on the first play, again, they try to come back to it. Sometimes it's the little nuances like that. All it takes is one player being out of position, and all of a sudden you've got yourself a big hitter. This is a big, big play. I hate to be that guy, Captain Obvious, but 4th and 2 at the 11-yard line. Osceola finally got some momentum. Maybe they can get back and even this thing up.
See what makes Arkansas schools great. Check out spirit videos from schools around the state at aetn.org/spirit. Sports. Let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Eric Sullivan.
Yeah, Scott and Bobby, I was just about to report to you. It just didn't seem like Osceola had any confidence on offense, but they figured something out on a really good drive here. And think about that bang start for Booneville. Osceola can tie this thing up, and I'm happy to report it's not raining near as hard as it was a few minutes ago, but I got a gut feeling it's going to change before we're done this afternoon with this state championship game.
100% chance of that.
He looks cold.
Yeah, I think he probably is. I don't think there's any way around that. 37 degrees of temperature at game time. Obviously getting a lot of winter precipitation north Arkansas today, a mix, and even some snow up near the line where these two schools are from, getting some winter weather, Booneville and Osceola. Right now, mostly, if not all, liquid precipitation on the field at War Memorial Stadium, and Osceola sticking with it on what will probably be the final play of the first quarter. They are going to go for it on 4th and 2 from the 10-yard line. Cam Turner, the Osceola quarterback.
4th and 2 for the Seminoles at the 10.
He's going to keep it himself, and he will not get it.
Big 73 right in the middle of the Booneville defense. That's a big-time play. And turnover on downs.
Ethan Paraglia with the stop for the Bearcats, and the Osceola Seminoles are turned away on the final play of the first quarter. Couple of turnovers. Booneville with one touchdown on the board, and it's a 7-0 lead for the Bearcats. We'll be back to War Memorial in a moment. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
Antiques Roadshow's Season 18 tour was bigger and better with more cities, more treasures, and more happy Roadshow fans.
I've never seen anything quite as remarkable as this.
Oh my, I am astounded.
So tune into the first hour of Antiques Roadshow, Junk in the Trunk 4, right here on this PBS station.
Monday night at 7.
One of the best. Cold and rainy day at War Memorial Stadium, the second weekend of December, but man, there are some hardcore football fans right there watching their Booneville Bearcats and Osceola Seminoles get after it in the 3A state championship game, first play of the second quarter. Booneville with the ball after stopping Osceola on downs. It's Carson Ray, their top rusher on the season, testing the right side. He gets about 3.
Before that play, Booneville had just 4 yards after the 30-yard touchdown run. So the Osceola's defense has stiffened since that first play of the game. We'll see if the Bearcats can get any momentum going offensively on this drive.
4-yard gain for Ray, 2nd and 6 at the 13.
Failed to mention it at the time, that touchdown put Booneville over the 600-point mark for the season. It's a rarefied air there for a 3A school that does not throw the football.
This team ran for 350 in the semifinal game. Ray gets the carry again. Boy, he just plows through a would-be tackler and gets over the 20-yard line. That's going to be good enough for the first down. Marlon Vance made the stop after a pickup of 8.
That's what makes playing Booneville so difficult, because you think you're in position to make a play for a minimal gain, and 5'7", 205 pounds lowers the shoulder, and all of a sudden you're looking up at the sky.
Oh, that is a vicious lick he laid on the defender. They're going back to their bread and butter here on this drive too, Bobby. They had a lot of A lot of end-around stuff going, but Ray's getting the bulk of the carries so far. Now they go back around to the outside with Michael Hessen, and Hessen is ridden down at about the 29-yard line. It'll bring up, after an 8-yard pickup, a short second down play. Rico Moore with the stop for Osceola.
That's what this offense is predicated by. You start creeping in to slow down Ray up the middle, they'll hit you with a quick handoff around the end, and now all of a sudden you know it, they're ahead of the chain, second and short.
It's going to be Ray again, and Ray is met in the backfield and then gets some help. J.D. Winda, the first guy there for Osceola, but it's a gang tackle. We'll see if he even got back to the line of scrimmage. I guess maybe they'll give him the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 3rd down and 2.
The base defense for Osceola is a 3-4, but you can see 6-7 guys right around the line of scrimmage. They've obviously made some adjustments here for this Booneville attack, and they're packing the box, daring the Bearcats to throw, which they haven't really had to do much of all season. They've got 5 on the line right now.
Ray is a fullback, averages 7.6 per carry. Here he is again on 3rd and short, just lowers his head, drives the pack forward, and that's going to be enough for a Booneville first down. Ugalde there, one of the first men to stop him, but you know, it's not often. That's about a 5-yard gain. Not often you see a fullback's averaging 7.6 per carry.
Yeah, Ugalde's had a nice first quarter and a portion of the second. Had 4 tackles in the first, 32 here in the second. Recovered the fumble, too, if I'm not mistaken. So he's a really nice game so far for the Osceola defense, but he's going to have a big day to slow down Booneville.
The end around to Robertson, and Robertson met at the edge and fumbles the football, but it, fortunately for Booneville, goes forward and out of bounds, so it's going to be positive yardage. That's actually a 3-yard pickup on the fumble, but there was no room around the edge. Osceola is controlling that here on this drive.
Not going to encourage fumbling the ball forward, but if you're about to get tackled for a no gain, you can toss it forward out of bounds for a couple yards. I guess that's one way to pad the stat sheet. Every coach in the state of Arkansas is yelling, Swafford, what are you talking about? Hey, it's free yards. Take it how you can get it.
That's right. That's right. 2nd down and 7. Oh, and it's a reverse to Hessen. Hessen has the corner this time. He's got the first down out to midfield, and he'll be pushed out of bounds by J.D. Winda. Nifty play call there for the Bearcats. It's a gain of 15.
That's a trick play for most every team in Arkansas and in the country, but that's a play that's standard in the Booneville offense. You go one direction, you think you've got it stopped, and all of a sudden a double handoff, and here it is coming back the other way. That's essentially a counter play out of this flex bone. It's a big first down, and again, Booneville in Osceola territory.
Well, those wingbacks, Robertson and Hessen, have combined for 1,700 yards coming into this game, so they get utilized a lot as well. It's not just Ray. This is going to be Carson Ray, though, and he's got a big hole. Carson Ray's got a first down, and he drags tacklers out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Marlon Vance gets credit for the stop for Osceola, but Booneville had a big hole to run through there, 17-yard run.
That was just the numbers game. They moved one of the slot backs in motion, get him out, actual toss sweep to the fullback, get the quarterback out there as a blocker as well. It's too many guys in white jerseys and not enough purple, and here they are knocking on the door of the 30.
Plus territory again for the Bearcats. They had 3 possessions start in Osceola territory in the first quarter. Only able to convert on 1. Both teams turned the ball over once in the first quarter as well. Ray gets the pitch behind Hessen blocking, and it's a minimal gain for Carson Ray.
You can start to see the snowflakes falling now. Earlier it was just little spits. Looks like the flakes are getting a little larger. You can see them from our vantage point.
AETN will be broadcasting the basketball state finals in March. Stay on top of all the action at aetn.org/sports. 2nd down and 7. Hessen in motion. They give it to Andrew Robertson, and Robertson is ripped down in the backfield by Winda again. That's a loss of 2.
It's a nice job recognizing the counter play by Wenda. Makes the play in the backfield and puts Booneville up against the sticks, facing 3rd and long.
A loss of 2 on the play, 3rd and 9.
Now Wenda just came through unblocked there.
A lot of times as a linebacker against this type of offense, you just have to avoid the trash in front of you. Sometimes you have to play a little deeper to avoid those offensive linemen getting around your ankle so you can make a play.
Here's Ray again with a running back as a lead blocker, and Ray's got first down yardage. Keyshawn Scales with the tackle. There is a flag down, and it's coming back.
Anytime the white hat throws a flag on a rushing play, it's going to be the face mask or a hold, and this one's going against the offense.
We already got a preliminary holding call. Here's the official call from David Coleman.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty for a spot of the foul. Still 3rd down.
You know, 3rd and 9 is a play that Booneville can convert on a regular basis just because how powerful their offense is. 3rd and 19 is a completely different story. But with the field position, if you can get 8 or 9 here, you think they probably have 2 shots at taking it because, again, the way that the punts have been going in this north direction, 1 and 4 for Osceola. I don't expect Booneville to put it in the air unless they get nothing here on 3rd down.
3rd down and 20 for the Bearcats.
It's really been a game so far. Missed opportunities. Booneville with 3 starts in plus territory, only able to score once. Osceola failed on 4th down inside their opponent's 20. 3rd down and 20. And it's going to be Hessen looking for room on the outside. Lowers his head, but he's going to be slung out of bounds. Well shy of the sticks. J.D. Wenda again in on the action for Osceola. He will get about 5. We'll see what Coach Scott Hyatt wants to do.
The Seminole defense has done a nice job of containing things and bouncing to the outside, but it looked like if Hessen might have been a little more patient and bounced things outside earlier, it might have had a chance to hit a bigger play and get closer to the original line of scrimmage. But Osceola shuts it down and looks like the Bearcats are going to punt.
Mikey Hessen drops into punt formation. Deep for Osceola with the 23, J.D. Wenda.
Wenda is back deep to return the kick. A high snap gets loose from Hessen, and Hessen recovers to get it upfield. What a great job by Hessen. It'll be down at about the 25-yard line, and there is a penalty marker back where he sent the punt away.
Really unfortunate. A bad snap goes through his hands, but he gets it off cleanly, and he's still a punter. He was run into, and this could be a personal foul and a free first down.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker on the defense.
Wow.
15-yard penalty. First down.
Jamarion Beasley called there, and it's one of those plays, and I don't know if we can pull up the replay. It's just an unfortunate turn of events there because Beasley thinks he might have a chance for a scoop and score. At worst, tackle the punter, but nice job by Hessen to get the ball on his foot, draws the penalty, and Booneville gets a huge break.
That's tough because at what point do you, if you're going to tackle the punter, you're going to have to sometimes maybe rough the punter.
Right.
But he was kicking. He was kicking the football.
You got to change the mentality. As soon as you see the ball on the ground, you're thinking defender instead of guy who's going after a punt. It's a tough play.
So Booneville gets it back, and they'll give it to Hessen around the right side. Hessen headed towards the first down sticks, and a flag comes down. It looks like he may have been roughed out of bounds. Might get a late hit.
Yep, got to handle the emotions. How does Osceola handle such a sudden turn of events there? Fortunately, at least for Osceola, if this is a late hit, it's only half the distance. It's not going to cost them greatly, but it is going to be a first and goal for Booneville if that's the call.
Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds by the defense. Half the distance goal. First down.
This is Carson Ray territory. Scott, you got the ball on the 6-yard line. Fullback with 30 rushing touchdowns. He's going to get it twice, maybe 4 times, if it takes that many.
Line of scrimmage is the 6. First and goal for the Bearcats.
First down and goal for Booneville, just shy of the Osceola 5-yard line. Handoff goes to Cam Brashers.
It's making me look bad.
Yeah, well, Brashers in giving Ray a spell. He gets inside the 5. It's about a 2-yard gain. Chris Williams makes the stop. for Osceola.
This is when that beef up front for Osceola is going to be tested. 330 pounds sitting right in the middle of the defense with Chris Williams, number 64. They try to avoid him, but we'll see. Booneville doesn't avoid the middle of the defense very often. They kind of do what they do.
Brasher and Robertson in the backfield, and the pitch goes to Robertson. Nothing doing there. Maybe a yard. Marlon Vance with the stop, and now it's 3rd and goal. He was known as one of the best cut men in boxing history. Arkansas Sports Hall of Famer Ray Rogers is featured on AETN's Men and Women of Distinction Monday at 6:30 p.m.
Looks like the trainers are looking at a Booneville player. I can't see a number on the far sideline.
Well, Ray's not out there. It's Hessen and Brasher. And the pitch goes to Brasher right side. And Brasher is short of the goal line. It's going to be 4th down. What do you think? You leave your offense out there?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what you do. 4th and 2 from the 2. This is exactly what Booneville puts their offense on, and it's man on man, hat on a hat here.
Well, on a sloppy track, in a run-oriented game.
That is Ray that they're looking at on the sidelines.
They are looking at Ray. Looks like they're going to call a timeout when the play clock gets a little closer to 1.
He's still got his helmet on, does Ray, over behind the Booneville bench, but we'll see if he can come back into the game.
Well, let's go down and check in with Eric. Eric, big swing and momentum there with that roughing the punter.
Bobby Swafford talking to one of the referees. The rule in Arkansas, despite the ball hitting the ground on that punt, if he goes into the act of kicking, you cannot rough him. They've been told to emphasize that this year. Now, Scott, we saw it last night in that game. And I'm looking at Ray right now, and he is it looks to be a leg problem with him right now. He's just kind of talking to the team doctors and trainers, not really stretching or anything, but he was kind of trying to work out that right leg, and it's a big right leg, by the way.
When you're 5'7", 205 pounds, there's not much that's small on you.
All right, Eric, thanks very much. Thanks for the rule clarification. Yeah, Eric brings up a good point. We saw that last night in the Hazen game. It wasn't quite the same. It wasn't a snap that got away, but it was a loose ball fumble, and he was picking it up and then got the kick away, and they called the foul.
It's just tough from a mentality standpoint. You see a football on the ground, the thought process as a defender is you go get it. And you completely forget that it's a punter. You never think that he's going to have his back to you and all of a sudden whip around and kick the football. But Booneville catches a big break, but Osceola can get the momentum back right now with a 4th and 2 stop.
Booneville will have to do it without their top rusher. It's Cam Brasher in the backfield behind quarterback Evan Schlinker. 4th down and goal from the 3. And they'll give it to number 4, Michael Hessen, and Hessen has the Booneville touchdown.
Touchdown number 12 for Hessen. They weren't having much success running up the middle, didn't have their big thunder back and Carson Ray, so they go to the outside, and Hessen needed every bit of his 5'11" frame to get the ball across the goal line.
16 plays, 91 yards.
And 0 through the air, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right, all rushing, all on the ground for the Bearcats, and they've got a 2-touchdown lead.
That's Booneville football to a T. Scott Hyatt has won a lot of football games through the years with the Bearcats doing exactly that, saying this is what we're running, do your best to stop it. Osceola couldn't there.
And the point after is up and good. And it's a 14-0 lead with 5:04 left to play in the first half. Back to War Memorial in a moment. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
One of the best things about being a community-focused bank like Centennial is that we encourage our employees to volunteer and give back. That's why our bankers are often seen around town involved in activities that have less to do with money matters and more to do with supporting others. From charity events and disaster relief to Chamber of Commerce and civic activities, we enjoy rolling up our sleeves and helping make our community a better place. See for yourself the difference our local commitment can make. More information available at MountainHunterBank.com. Centennial Bank, member FDIC.
PBS is wonderful, and they've been helping kids, including me, for forever. What do I watch on PBS? Nature Cat? Come on, man. Tally-ho! At your disposal. I think it's unique to other kid shows. The whole purpose of the show is leading the charge about getting out into nature again and talking about rocks and everything that you would find outside. It's teaching kids, and what better place to teach kids than PBS?
Booneville has built a 14-0 lead here in the 3A state title game as we check in with Eric Sullivan. Eric?
All right, Scott, got some new information on Carson Ray. He is going through concussion protocol. The team doctors just got done working with him, so we'll find out if he gets a shot before, maybe not before the half, but they were working on him for a concussion, guys.
All right, Eric, thanks very much. That's tough news for Booneville, but right now they've got a 14-0 lead, and they scored at the end of that drive without their top rusher.
He just walked away from the trainers, and good news for maybe Ray and Booneville, still has his helmet on. A lot of times they'll take the helmet away from him so they can't come back into the game, so maybe good news for Booneville's coming up.
Little chip kick to the center of the field, and Osceola fields it cleanly, and they'll be able to start with good field position again. So a 16-play, 91-yard drive that covered 6 minutes and 56 seconds of the clock. Monster drive. If you remember, the reason that was a 91-yard drive is because Booneville had stopped Osceola on downs inside the 20.
That's total momentum swing in this game. You think Osceola's got it going, got the offense working, all of a sudden Booneville gets a big stop, and they just suck the wind out of any momentum or any sails that Osceola had going with a 91-yard drive that just churned up more than half of this period.
So Cam Turner brings the Seminoles back out onto the field. And they'll go 4 wide here from that spread offense. Passing game really hasn't gotten clicking yet. But Turner's going to throw. He's got all day to do it. And he unloads upfield. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of Jarrett Scales, the intended receiver.
Got behind the Booneville defense. The Bearcats have been running this quarter's defense, dropping 4, not letting anybody back. But the speed of Scales, able to get behind the Booneville defense and just off his fingertips.
Underthrown just a tad, but still a catchable ball.
That's a play you need to make.
Handoff goes, nope, it was fake to Wenda, and Turner will keep it, but he gets nowhere. Turned away, maybe got a yard. Hey, learn about the news and newsmakers of the week on Arkansas Week, AETN's flagship public affairs program, Fridays at 6:30 p.m. and Sundays at 10 a.m. Noah Reeves on the stop there for Booneville, and now it's 3rd and long for the Bearcats. For the Seminoles.
Yeah, Reyes leads the team with 25 tackles for a loss. That one just past the line of scrimmage, but nonetheless still a big play.
Wenda goes in motion. Now comes set for Turner. And we've got whistles before the snap. It's going to be a timeout called by Osceola.
I'd like to see Osceola put Cam Turner in space. They haven't rolled him out a ton. They haven't looked like they've tried to run the football to the outside with their quarterback. Maybe get him a lead blocker. Maybe send the running back in motion and follow him to the flats. Make Booneville make a play on your quarterback. He's by far their best ball carrier, their best talents, over 2,400 yards of offense coming into today, 38 touchdowns. Put him in space. He got you here.
Yeah.
Let him do his thing.
There was a play early on where you could see that about to develop, but it shut down on him and he had a short gain. If he does get out in space, you could see the way he runs. He could be a real problem for defenses. But you're right, it's been a pocket passer here for much of the game.
Just 48 yards so far through a quarter and a half for Osceola, but then you have to tip your cap to the Booneville defense. They played assignment football. They've kept everything in front. They forced all the outside runs back inside to the teeth of their defense. They're playing the type of football that Coach Hyatt wants them to do.
3rd down and 9. 4 wideouts again for Cam Turner. He's going to set in the pocket and fire. He's got a wide open receiver. It's caught by Travion Moore, and he'll have the first down at the 45.
If anything else, that's a big confidence play for Osceola. They've been faced with 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11 several times already in this first half. But shows you the pass and catch, plenty of space. Nice throw there by Turner.
Handoff Harris up the middle, and he's got a good push from his offensive line. That's a nice gain on first down. Gets down to the 41-yard line. About a pickup of 4. Marcus Nichols on the stop for Booneville.
Don't have to worry about the clock just yet as we get under 4 minutes. Plenty of time for Osceola to score here.
Again, trying to go a little tempo as they no huddle right up on the line of scrimmage. Turner gets the instructions from the sidelines. Under pressure. This is where he could be dangerous. He decides to run with it. Hit and a flag down as he is rolled out of bounds short of the sticks.
I think they're going to get Booneville with a face mask here and give Osceola a first down.
Noah Reyes with the stop. It's a pickup of 5. We'll see about the flag.
And 5-yard face mask on the defense. Added to the end of the run, it'll be a first down.
The gain was 4 yards to the 37.
Just the 5-yard variety, but either way, moving the chains for Osceola.
You know, one of the things Coach Hyatt told us in our pregame interview is that they wanted to control the clock and keep the Osceola offense off the field. Time of possession starting to get a little more even now. Booneville has about a 3-minute edge, but Osceola's got their most sustained drive of the game going on, and here's Turner scrambling again, and again he has his face mask grab, and everybody throws a flag on that one.
That one's going to be the 15-yard variety. It looked like Booneville had him bottled up pretty well, but reaching hands going to cost Booneville on this one.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Booneville's scoring drive moments ago, Bobby, was aided by 2 personal foul penalties, and now Osceola's getting the benefit.
This is a big drive for Osceola. You don't want to get, Eric mentioned it, you don't want to let the game get out of hand. It's the first half. There's a lot going to happen. 14 points in high school football is nothing, but just for the confidence factor, the momentum factor with halftime coming up, you'd like to see the Seminoles get some points.
We've got a time. Booneville's going to call a timeout with 3:06 on the clock. So they need, and this may be less strategy and more just calming everybody down. After back-to-back face masks, you just want to give your players a chance to settle back in.
Because you have, what Coach Hyatt and his staff is telling his team right now is we were in position to make the last 2 plays. These last 2 first downs we gave them because of penalties. Settle down, get a stop here, get your offense back on the field.
Hey, to support public media in Arkansas, you can visit aetn.org. Donations, by the way, help keep great programming like Nature, Antiques Roadshow, and Doc Martin on the air. Let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Eric.
Yeah, guys, how big would a 7-pointer right here be for this Osceola team? Listening to Coach talk to his quarterback, Cam Turner, I think he was listening to you, Bobby. He says you've got to get out in space and use your legs because some of the passes just aren't connecting right now, so look for that. Maybe not so much here as they get inside the 20, but they're really encouraging him to use his speed.
Thank you, Eric. First down and 10 for the Seminoles. Their second trip to the red zone, the last time they turned it over on downs. Turner looking left. One arms it up for grabs, and it's intercepted in the end zone. Intercepted by Booneville on an ill-advised throw by Cam Turner.
Ethan Dobbs, again, he's been the playmaker for Booneville. 7th interception of the season. That leads the team for the Bearcats, and that is just a throw you cannot make if you're Cam Turner. You already turned the ball over once inside the red zone, and against a team like Booneville, who's already got a 2-score lead, you've got to take advantage of every opportunity you can, and that one he just threw up for grabs, and it's going the other direction.
Off 1 foot, not set. That he'd like to have back.
Yeah, you hate to say it. In this game, he's a sophomore. That's a mistake that young players make. You try to make too much out of something, and that one obviously cost Osceola.
Seminoles 0 for 2 in the red zone now. Hand off to Cam Brasher, and Brasher breaks free. Brasher is into the open field to midfield. One man to beat, and he is wrestled down in plus territory at the 47-yard line of Osceola by Peyton Burks.
Last time they got a red zone stop, they went 91 yards, methodically marched it down the field. They don't have the luxury of the time to do that, so they need to hit a big play on the very first one. Cam Brasher breaks free, and again, Scott, we've said this all game long, they're in Osceola territory.
61-yard run. And now there's plenty of clock time for Booneville. You know, I was about to say you're looking at setting up at the 1-yard line with less than 3 minutes left with this offense, but now they've got the time to do whatever they want to do.
That's what makes this offense so dangerous, whether it's Carson Ray or Cam Brescher. If one man is out of assignment, it creates a seam for a fullback, and he's off to the races.
More misdirection. A little reverse to Hessen, and Hessen cuts it upfield rather than trying to reach the edge, and that's a good call as he gets down to the 32-yard line. It's a pickup of about 5. Peyton Burks made the stop for the second consecutive play for Osceola.
You know, you ever seen a kid just punch a wall over and over? You're like, why is this kid punching a wall? Well, this is exactly why. Eventually that wall is going to soften a little bit, and you're going to break through for a big one. Don't punch walls, kids. That's a metaphor.
That's it. I got you. The handoff goes to Robertson. Robertson's got the first down. He'll be turned back just shy of the 25-yard line by Don Newsom. It's a pickup of 8 yards. Hey, if you want to relive all the action, championship games will be available to watch online starting Monday at aetn.org/sports. Our thanks to the partners at AETN, partnering with the AAA to bring you these games statewide. Handoff to Brasher. And Brasher again with the hole carrying tacklers into the red zone. Second and short coming up. It's a gain of 7. Jarrett Scales makes the stop for Osceola.
This is when the type of offense that Booneville runs becomes an advantage. Not only are you moving the football forward, but you're also bleeding that clock. Even if Booneville doesn't score, they're going to ensure that Osceola does not have any time left if they happen to get the football back.
Handoff again goes around the edge to Jeremy Elliott this time. And the 5'10", 160 senior gets inside the 15, and that's going to be enough for another Booneville first down.
Again, if you don't watch a lot of high school football, the clock stops from moving the chains and does not start as soon as the ball is placed like it does in college or even the pros. And so there's a lot more time that the clock is not running between plays. That's why it looks like Booneville is not in that big of a hurry.
Just the one timeout left to burn if they need it. Here's the pitch back to Brasher again, and Brasher is knocked down just inside the 10-yard line. It's going to be a pickup of about 4 on the play.
That was an overload look for Booneville. They took the tackle from the left side, put him on the right, trying to win the numbers game, but Osceola did a nice job to keep that to a minimal gain.
Now we're going to get that timeout with 1:09 left on the clock. Well, this boy, you hate to say, I mean, we're in the second quarter, but this is a feel that if Booneville scores here, it's going to be darn near an insurmountable task for Osceola unless they can get that passing game going. Really, that's the problem right now for Osceola is they're just not able to get things jiving with that.
And the trend in football, Scott, you've seen it this weekend. You saw it last weekend. Booneville gets the ball to start the second half because they deferred the opening kickoff. So if they score here, not only do you go into the half with a potential 21-0 lead, but you get the football coming out. Maybe you score there, and all of a sudden what was a really close game is Osceola has the ball in the red zone. It could be out of hand.
Well, it's an Osceola offense that averages 421 yards per game, and today they've been held to 68.
With 2 red zone turnovers.
Yep. Let's go down to Eric.
Eyes on Carson Ray. He's I think been cleared. He's talking to his teammates quite a bit, going to the huddle, but coaching staff not putting him in on this drive. And I tell you what, he's such a great player, but how about his Bearcat backfield teammates really stepping up with some big runs here? But we'll see once the second half gets going if we'll be able to get him back in the ball game. That'll be a story to watch for sure.
All right, Eric, thank you. Second down and 6 after the timeout with 1:09 left to go for the Bearcats, and they're going to throw. Schlinker to the end zone. Oh, and a great defensive play. Batted away by Peyton Burks.
And broken up nicely by number 6, Carl Miner.
It's a nice play. 1-on-1 in the corner of the end zone. Lays out and knocks the ball away.
It was number 6, not number 8. The PA address said that was Miner. We've got him at number 7. So take your pick. Sometimes the
got some darts, just throw it at the board.
Yeah, sometimes the rosters that they give us are not what's going on. Here's the handoff to Hessen, and Hessen turns it upfield inside the 5-yard line. Boy, he's going to be really close. I think he's down short of the first down marker. And now it's going to be 4th down. The clock continues to run.
Go a little quicker just in case you get a first down. Give yourself some time.
4th and 1.
And they give to Brasher. He does a nice job of avoiding a would-be tackler, gets to the goal line, and he is driven out of bounds shy of the goal line, but he will have a first down. Stopping the clock at 36 seconds. Boy, he made a nice little sidestep in the backfield that time, Bobby.
Yeah, Brasher looks like he's been the fullback all season long the way he's played in this second quarter, but Osceola does a nice job keeping him out, but now Booneville has 4 chances from the 1-yard line to really put some distance between them and the Seminoles.
First and goal, a yard out.
From the 1.
And the handoff goes to Hessen. And Hessen's into the end zone for the Booneville touchdown.
Bearcats, they just hit you from so many different angles. Carson Ray, Andrew Robertson, Cam Brasher, and here Michael Hessen. Booneville now got a 3-score lead, and if you're Osceola, halftime cannot get here quick enough.
Gavin Kent will come on to try to make it a 21-point lead for the Bearcats.
Want to add a little salt in the wounds. Osceola may want to mute the TV for a second. Coming into this game, 1 carry for 17 yards for Cam Brasher.
Wow. The point after try is up, and it's good. 32 seconds left, and it's 21-0. The undefeated Bearcats are rolling.
When you have a system that you put in when you're in the 2nd and 3rd grade, that's how you can do things like that. You take a guy who's listed as a tight end, 1 catch this year for 10 yards, 1 rush for 17 yards, and Cam Brasher breaks a 60-yard run, has played well on the defensive side, but has really flipped the momentum of this football game.
Help support AETN's continuing coverage of high school sports. Consider becoming a sustaining member. You can find out how at aetn.org. Let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Eric.
Yeah, guys, you got to wonder right now for Osceola. A lot of guys huddled up by their heaters down here, and we mentioned it. How can you hang in there mentally when it's a bad weather day? It's cold, it's rainy, and then you got to go up against those guys from Booneville. Bobby, watch the offensive line next in the 3rd quarter. They live for this kind of game. They are really starting to get to Osceola, and you got to wonder if they could do something here before the half, or if they can get some kind of point on the board once we get into the 3rd quarter.
You talk about it all the time, Eric, and you mentioned the offensive line. Can't be overstated enough. Booneville's the defending state weightlifting champion, and that's when it really comes into play. You see the strength up front for the Bearcats, and they've really taken over this football game. 216 yards on the ground for Booneville in this first half.
They'll kick it deep. And the 2 return men, Tobar and Wenda, collide. Wenda picks it up, breaks a tackle. And Wenda is out to midfield. Still on his feet inside the 40-yard line, and that will give Osceola a shot with 21 seconds. Dalton Tatum brought him down.
Momentum. This could be a really, really big 21 seconds for Osceola. If you can find a way to get in the end zone, they do have just 1 timeout left here in this first half, but now there's a little life. Osceola can knock on the door. If they can knock it down, this could be a really interesting second half.
A 41-yard kickoff return by J.D. Wenda in what looked like disaster when 2 guys tried to field it and collided.
We haven't seen Booneville kick it deep at all up until that point. That was their 4th kickoff, and that time they tried to go deep. Osceola burned them.
Osceola has 1 timeout. So you might be able to get about 3 plays here. See what they do first with Cam Turner. He'll try for the quick strike. And a little hook and ladder, I guess you'd call it, although the player was falling down. Greg hooks with the hook and ladder to J.D. Wenda.
You don't run that to the short side of the field outside of the numbers very often, but no harm, no foul, I guess, if you're Robert Hooks.
It is about a 5-yard pickup. And Wenda's in the backfield again at 17 seconds. Turner looking left, now comes back over the middle. That throw is a little high, intended for Jarek Scales.
It's a dangerous pass against this quarter's defense. The deep middle is not going to be open. Osceola needs to try to get things underneath that deep out. The 10 to 15 yards to the sideline is really where you can exploit this coverage defense, or the deep middle or the middle of the field before you get to those safeties. But with 11 seconds left, you don't really have time to exploit that part.
Well, you still got the whole field at your disposal here with one timeout. But you've got to call it quickly. Only 11 ticks on the clock.
With a mobile quarterback, this is when it becomes dangerous.
Yep, you're right. And Turner is going to scramble, trying to buy time. And now he just flips it up for grabs, and it's caught. How about that by Travion Moore with 2 seconds left for the first down, so they'll be able to get the timeout.
That's exactly what I was talking about, Scott. You run around too much trying to create something that happened. All of a sudden that 11 seconds goes off, but Osceola finds his man down the middle of the field, got a chance for one more play, see if they can get it in the end zone and cut into this 21-point lead.
Andrew Robertson made the stop, a 16-yard pickup, and this is the third trip to the red zone in the first half for Osceola. They're 0 for 2. Turned it over on downs, turned it over with an interception by their quarterback.
Well, Booneville's not getting a lot of pressure, but that's by design. They're not bringing a lot of pressure. They're content with rushing 3, maybe 4, and just staying in their lanes. They don't want Cam Turner to be able to flush the pocket and beat them with his legs. So they're content with just holding up the offensive line and saying, okay, you beat us, but you're going to have to beat us with your arm.
Well, what does Robert Hooks draw up for this final play likely of the first half?
They've had some success with 10 to 15-yard outs if things underneath the coverage with the cover 4, the quarters defense, if you will, for this Booneville attack. So we'll see if they try to change things up if you're Booneville.
16 yards on that pass play. 1st and 10 for the Seminoles after 16.
Here we go. Turner, quick to flush out. Flips it, connects with Winda. Winda to the sidelines to the 5, but he won't get in.
You bend, you don't break. That's why you drop everybody deep, just in case somebody misses a tackle, can force him out of bounds, and Booneville go into the locker room feeling pretty good about themselves.
It has been all Bearcats in this first half. Their defense has had 2 stops in the red zone, and their offense has put together some nice drives. They'll take a 21-0 lead into the locker room, and Eric Sullivan will be standing by in just a moment when he gets an opportunity to grab one of the coaches. I'm looking for Eric now.
He's the one with all the rain gear on.
Yeah, that narrows it down for me, Bobby. Thank you.
He's down here on the 10. Looks like he's going to try to get Coach Hooks.
There we go. Yep, he's walking over now.
Red hat helps a lot. Thanks for that, Eric.
And for you guys.
Yeah. Robert Hooks making his way over now to talk with Eric.
All right, Coach Hooks, you've had 3 trips where you had opportunities to score. How do you get some points on this board being down 21-0?
Just have to finish and execute it when you're in the red zone. We've gotten in the red zone and hadn't finished. Just hadn't executed. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Our kids believe. I promise you, we're going to be okay.
What about stopping them? They've got a really, really good running attack. You did some decent things there, but they got loose a couple times.
Right now, they're overflanking us. They're running on the edge. That's where they're killing us. We got to make sure that we adjust and bump over. We're not adjusting correctly, but we're going to go in and get that fixed.
Coach, go talk to your guys. Appreciate it. Scott and Bobby, back up to you. We'll talk to you guys in the third quarter.
Yeah, all right. Coach Hooks mentioned it. Sorry about that, Scott, but kind of want to touch on that. They got in the red zone 3 times.
Yep.
You get in the red zone, including that last possession, 2 turnovers in 1. You run out of time. You can convert those. All of a sudden, it's 21-21.
Yep.
And so Osceola, even though on the scoreboard looks like they're getting manhandled down 3 scores, and the stat sheet also looks like it's a little one-sided, but because of some breaks that Osceola has created for themselves, this could be a whole lot closer football game, but it's not.
We'll talk a little bit more about the first half when we return to War Memorial Stadium in just a moment. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
The Everett difference is much more than just vehicle sales and service. It's also our commitment to helping those who help others, like those who work to build communities, those who help to enrich the lives of children, those who provide a loving home to kids in need, and those who lend a helping hand when you need it. It's a privilege to work with these wonderful organizations, and we're grateful for everything they do. That's the Everett difference. Everett Buick GMC.
The Booneville Bearcats lead the Osceola Seminoles 21-0 here at the break at War Memorial Stadium. Halftime at the 3A state championship game on this doubleheader championship Saturday, the second and final high school football season day of the year. As we are going to talk about a few of the stats, but Bobby, when you talk about this one, the way it played out, Booneville with their first 3 possessions started in plus territory. They got a turnover early, made that count, and then their defense made some big stops.
That's what Booneville is based on. They run smash mouth football, but they turn you over. Early in the first possession of the game, Osceola turned it over. Booneville turned it into a 33-yard touchdown run by Andrew Robertson, pictured on your screen. Nicely done. And all of a sudden, you've got a team that has a ton of confidence, 14-0, and they've got a lead just 2 minutes into this football game, and they really haven't slowed down. And this might have been the play of the first half. A bad snap, finally gets it off, but you see the flag come in late, a roughing the punter that led to their second score of the game, and that's really when the momentum shifted to the Bearcats.
And Osceola 0 for 3, as we mentioned, in the red zone. They got the football starting out deep in their own end, and they got this big run right here to give them a chance late in the second quarter to score again.
Yeah, Cam Brasher came into this game with only 17 yards rushing, breaks that one for 60 yards, and then Hessen again with his 13th touchdown of the season. And that long run by Brasher might have been the backbreaker. They throw the interception, so your head's down a little bit if you're Osceola, and all of a sudden you're going back the other direction.
Well, as you might imagine, all of the numbers are going to be swung to Booneville's side. The total yardage, 216 to 89. Passing yards is the only thing Osceola does have the edge on. We would have expected that coming into the game. 216 rushing yards to 42 for Osceola. Osceola averages 255 on the ground per game, and they only have 42 against that Booneville front in this game. Penalties, both teams have been plagued by that, and the personal foul variety many times. Booneville with the edge in first downs. Not that efficient on third down, but they haven't had to be. Fourth down conversions, though, they have been, and that's made a big difference as well.
And the bottom two stats on your screen kind of go hand in hand. You don't think of red zone turnovers costing you points, but they've all turned into points. Twice that Osceola has turned the ball over inside their 20-yard line. Twice, Booneville has gone 90 yards for a score, including the last possession of the game. So 2 turnovers, 14 points, and you heard Coach Hooks mention her going to the locker room in the red zone 3 times, 0 points to show for it.
Our halftime continues for War Memorial in just a moment. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. We are the curious.
Wow. The adventurous.
Oh. Those venturing out for the first time.
And those who've never lost our sense of wonder.
We are the hungry,
the strong,
the joyful,
a happy little cloud. We believe there is always more we can uncover.
More we can explore.
We believe
in the capacity for goodness and the potential for greatness.
The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans.
PBS.
PBS.
Anytime we want, anywhere we are.
Ian's coverage of the finals, we are showcasing outstanding student athletes in each division and in each game. In 3A, let's meet Keontae Franklin from Prescott High School, who has learned to push beyond his limits to achieve his ultimate goals.
My name is Keontae Franklin. I play wide receiver and defensive back.
If all your kids, had his attitude and character and work ethic in the classroom like he does, you'd have a perfect school everywhere. He's never had a disrespectful moment in his life. He's always been yes or no, sir. He carries himself like a well-mannered young man should carry himself. He's serious about his academics.
I plan to go to college and to get a degree in welding.
You come up here on the weekends, Keontae's up here making himself better and putting in extra work.
I've pretty much learned how to push myself harder, past my limits, going 110%.
There's so many other things going on in life that distract people, especially young people, from their goals. And he never got distracted. He never wavered from it. He knew what his goals were, and he worked his tail off to get to where he's at, and it made him get back to where he is today.
We also want to celebrate outstanding student athletes participating in today's 3A championship game. First, from Osceola, Jarek Scales, a senior wide receiver linebacker with a GPA of 4.0. His field of study is sports management. And for Booneville, Brandon Ulmer, a senior quarterback with a 3.65 GPA, planning to study sports administration. We'll continue with our halftime activities, and the second half is just around the corner between Booneville and Osceola. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
There are trained athletes all up and down the sidelines at these games this weekend, including the Spirit Squads. For a look at what it takes to excel, let's meet Stephanie Anaya, POM captain at Springdale High School.
I've always known that dance was for me, that I wanted a part of it, but then once I joined dance, I just realized how serious the dance community is and how big it is. And I hear people say, oh, dance is not a sport. Dance is a sport, and there's just so much out there, and it's so beautiful, and there's so much different type of dance, and I know that I want to keep doing that for as long as I can. When I found out I was captain, I felt ready, but at the same time, you can't just start showing leadership skills your senior year. They have to be there from the beginning, and you have to actually show your true self.
I think one of the biggest things that she does that a lot of people don't recognize is she kind of sacrifices herself in that she knows that not everybody's going to like her at every moment of the day, that not everybody's going to be happy with her when she pushes them to be successful. And because she wants to do well, she wants to succeed, and she understands that everybody needs somebody to push them to be successful. She's willing to not be everybody's best friend, but to be that person who pushes to success every day. And I think that that's a really important job she takes on.
You just have to keep going and know that at the end something good's going to come out of it, and it'll just be worth it.
That, by the way, was a student film produced by Marlene DeBora and Alexa Calderon with Springdale High School. Hey, some athletes have to overcome big obstacles, and often when people tell them they can't do something, it motivates them to be greater than they ever imagined. That's the case in the inspiring story of track athlete Hunter Woodall, who was told he would never walk so he chose to run.
So when I was born, I had a birth defect. It's called fibular hemophilia. And pretty much what it means is, like, in my left leg, I didn't have a fibula, so that bone is gone. In my right leg, my ankle was fused. And the original diagnosis was that I'd never be able to walk. That's what the original doctors thought. And then after going through a lot of different specialists and hospitals, we finally found a few doctors that said the best decision would be to amputate. So when I was 11 months old, I had my legs amputated. But like I said, as I got a little older and I started to figure out that I was different and this is something that I wasn't going to let stop me, it started to become, like you said, a motivation, a little bit of a chip on my shoulder.
Hunter works as hard as anybody that I've ever coached. I've been coaching for about 25 years now, so he's willing to go out there and do the things that he has to do to be great. He wants to be great. He wants to be the best athlete he can be, and that's always the kind of person when you're recruiting, that's exactly what you're looking for every single time. And Hunter's one of those guys, and he exemplifies that every day in practice. He's here on time. He does his warm-up. He does his cool-down. He does the workout the way it's prescribed, and he's a great kid to have on our team.
I didn't really have a lot of friends. I didn't really have a place I really kind of fit in. And the two friends that I did have were actually on the track team, so I joined thinking it would be somewhere that I could kind of fit in and feel like myself, and it's kind of how it all started.
It was surprising to know that he had run that fast, and we saw the results, and we thought if you can run fast there, you can come to Arkansas, and you can run fast at Arkansas.
That was a student film from the AETN series Student Selects, produced by Olivia Stumbaugh with Harbor High School in Springdale. It's halftime in the 3A state championship game at War Memorial. We'll be back to the stadium in a moment. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
I love the way you talk about beauty and love.
What else is there?
Well, my family talk about money and violence.
Whatever I have to do, I'll fight.
Quite right.
You look like a woman who's been starved of fun recently.
What sort of man are you?
If you harbor thoughts of mischief, I insist that you divulge them.
She's very confident.
Isn't she?
Be elegant or die.
God, this is crazy.
Believe me, I've seen it all.
Everyone has shadows. The trick is to outrun them.
That was thrilling.
High school football coaches are teachers in their own right. They teach much more than X's and O's. They impart wisdom. For longtime coach Mike Malham of the Cabot Panthers, it's a philosophy not only for winning football, but for winning at life.
I've never had a playbook. I didn't ever want anything put on paper. So I don't have a playbook at that. It's just rep out there. That's how they learn it anyway, is reps. Keep it simple. Don't be too complex. And if you do it enough times, you might learn how to do it right. And I had between our offense, defense, and special team players, I had 28 this year that were playing on the field that had a 3-point or better, a cumulative grade point. Hard work is the key to success in anything you do. And this is America. You can be anything you want to be. If you want to be a doctor, you want to work hard, go to school, you can do that. You got no excuse in America not to be successful.
I've always been a hard worker, but he's made me 10 times a hard worker than I am. And I remember a couple times I ran a play wrong, and he just told me to get right back on the ball and run it again until I got it right. And he just made sure it was perfect. That's what he likes, is perfection.
Off the field, he lets me know it's more than just football in life. You got to work hard for what you want. Take that to my work. I take it to class, and I bring it to the field.
When they leave our program, the whole thing, I hope they learned how to set goals and work hard to achieve those goals. And when you get knocked down, You know, in football, you're going to get knocked down, get back up, and just go even harder. So that I'm proud of what the kids do in the classroom, because the teachers know that if they have a problem with the kid, all you got to do is call us, and we will take care of it. They're going to act right. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. They're going to act right in the classroom. Gentlemen off the field, they can be wild men on the field, but off the field, we want to be gentlemen.
That was Mike Malham from Cabot High School, who, by the way, just completed his 38th season as head football coach. 28 of his players made the all-conference team by earning a 3.0 GPA or better. Back to War Memorial Stadium for second-half action in the 3A championship game. After this, you're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Being a Globetrotter, you get to bring a whole family together. PBS gives your kids and your family a little foundation. With Arthur, you're able to relate to some of the messages as far as going to school, interacting with other kids, how to handle a bully. PBS is going to help your kids grow. I'd rather my kids get that experience from something that I trust, that I grew up on, like PBS.
Booneville's shutting out Osceola 21-0. Halftime of the 3A state championship game here at War Memorial Stadium, and the team is about to start making their way back out onto the field. The pregame clock down close to 1 minute, and then they'll have a 3-minute warm-up period. And Bobby, as you talk about what might have gone on in the locker room at halftime, you know, Coach Robert Hooks talked about with Eric just a few moments ago leaving the field that they missed their chances in the red zone. They can't do that. And he also talked about slowing down Booneville's running game and being outflanked. What kind of adjustments do you expect them to make?
Well, Booneville's flipped their line a few times. They're going to man over, tackle over, if you will. So it's a simple numbers game. So what you have to do is maybe widen out your defense, and that's a dangerous thing to do when you're talking about a team that runs the fullback as much as you can. So maybe squeeze your cornerbacks in, maybe move your safeties a little bit farther to the outside. But it's a cat and mouse game. You start moving pieces, all of a sudden there are bigger running lanes in the middle, and that's where you have to rely on your coach.
Yeah, as we take a look at some of the individual numbers as Booneville makes their way back out onto the field. You know, it is worth pointing out, too, that Booneville's done a lot of this without their leading rusher, Carson Ray, who's been sidelined with injury. And we are also told during halftime, our thanks to the Booneville folks letting us know we were making a mispronunciation on one of the running backs' names, Cam Brazier, instead of Cam Brashard. Brazier is the leading rusher for Booneville here at the half. 6 carries, 78 yards, aided by one 60-yard run. So 13 yards per carry for Brazier. Michael Hessen is next with 53 yards. Ray, before he went out, had 9 carries for 44 yards, and Robertson with 38 yards. Evan Schlinker is 0 for 2 passing. Top tackler is Brazier as well on the defensive side of the ball. He's got 5. Noah Reyes next with 3. Individual numbers for Osceola. J.D. Wenda with 2 carries for 15 yards. That's the leading rusher for the Osceola Seminoles. Cam Turner, the quarterback, with 7 carries for just 14 yards. Titus Harris has 8. Jarek Scales has 7. Turner was 8 of 14 passing. No touchdowns, 1 pick, 58 yards. Travion Moore with 3 catches. He's the leading receiver for 27 yards. And the top tackler was Carl Miner, who had 6 stops. Jason Ugaldi also had 6. I believe we have Eric set up on the sidelines there. Let's go down to Eric with head coach Scott White for Booneville.
All right, thank you, Scott Inman. Coach, you have a 21-0 lead. You've had a really good ground game working. What was your message to the team?
I mean, it's come out, we won the first half. We got a whole nother half to play. We got to win the second half.
All right, you lost Carson for a moment. We saw him in concussion protocol. Any word on his condition?
Yeah, he passed the test on the field. We watched him at halftime. They gave him the test again. They said he's good to go.
Osceola is explosive. We know that. They've had 3 shots at it this game. How do you kind of keep them at bay as well?
I mean, fortunately, I think the weather plays a role in that. But, we just got to keep playing good defense and not get out of position, not, let them get behind us. I mean, they're very explosive offense.
All right, Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, Scott, back to you.
All right, Eric, thank you. And Booneville, as we talked about towards the tail end of the first half, did win the coin toss, chose to defer their option to the second half. So they'll have an opportunity to build on that lead right off the bat, right off of the kickoff, which is about a minute from now.
With Carson Ray coming back into this game, you think, okay, well, Booneville's getting their bell cow coming back. Well, right now with a 21-point lead, you don't really have to throw him out there. If you feel like you need him more defensively, you can save him for that side of the football. This is his last game as a high school football player. You know he wants to be out there. You know he wants to get into the end zone and kind of cap off a storied career he's had with a career season with 30 touchdowns this year for the Bearcats. Right now, if you're Booneville, you're at the opening kickoff, you can mount a drive, all of a sudden you find yourself in the end zone, then you're going to find yourself watching the clock, trying to speed it up.
Well, and certainly Brazier's done a great job in Ray's absence with the 78 yards on 6 carries, 13 per carry. But again, the big difference in this game has been Osceola being 0 for 3 in the red zone.
It's amazing that Brazier can come in and it's just plug and play. 1 carry for 17 yards prior to the state championship game. Of course, the 60-yarder is going to help the stats, but 6 carries, 78 yards. I mean, that's what you want. If you're a head coach, you just want next man up mentality. Of course, it's a cliche from everybody on the outside, but that's a prime example of always being ready to step in when your number's called.
Well, you can see a few of those players on the sidelines. If they're not moving, they're a little bit cold, to say the least.
You can see they're huddled by the heaters, and unfortunately, probably for these Osceola guys, they're probably going to have to kick Eric Sullivan away from their heaters. He's sucking up all their hot air.
Has he been getting over there, getting a little heat?
I haven't seen it yet, but that red hat can't hide forever. That's not surprising, to be quite honest.
Well, the rain expected to continue to fall through the rest of this game. It's 36 degrees currently. I'm sure with that cold rain, it is feeling like it's a lot colder than that.
It's our first chance to watch the Osceola kickoff team, though. Don't really know what to expect here. And obviously, if you're Booneville, you've got to watch any kind of misdirection, shenanigans, trick plays, whatever the case may be, because Osceola wants to get the football back to their offense as quickly as they can and maybe even eliminate Booneville getting their hands on the football. I say that, and Booneville has 9 guys within 15 yards of the football.
We're open the second half with the Bearcats getting the football first. Osceola's number 12, MJ Vance.
Well, the fans getting back into it.
For Booneville, number 23, Ethan Dobbs is deep, along with number 4, Mikey Hessen.
Marlon Vance will put it on the tee. Ethan Dobbs and Michael Hessen are back deep to return for the Bearcats. Not many kicks have been sent very deep today, but this one will get to the return guys, and it goes over his head. He's going to have to chase it down, and Dobbs picks it up, gets back to the 10-yard line, shakes some tackles, and brings it back up, still going over the 20-yard line. And another near disaster turned into a pretty nice return by Ethan Dobbs. It's a 14-yard return after a 52-yard kick.
Booneville's seen 2 balls hit the ground, go through some hands, and go over their head, and both have turned up roses. First on the punt, that resulted in a roughing the punter, and there it looked like it was a disaster. Going to be inside their own 10, but instead they get it out across the 20.
So we'll see what Robert Hooks did to adjust defensively for the Seminoles. He talked about at halftime being outflanked. In other words, extra linemen out there, extra blockers. Carson Ray is back into the ball game on the first play from scrimmage for the Bearcats. And he gets, or the handoff rather, goes to Ethan Dobbs around the right side.
Kind of lined Ray up, not directly behind center as a normal fullback would, a little farther behind the guard, and that's easy spot for a lead block and pick up a couple yards on first down.
Jarek Scales made the stop after a 3-yard gain.
With the conditions and as cold as it is, the first couple drives of the second half may mirror the first half because you're just trying to warm your body back up, getting used to hits in these cold temperatures.
Handoff Ray. Hits the hole on the left side, breaks the tackle, and he's close to the first down. Depending on forward progress as they drove him backwards, I think he may be right at the sticks. Jamarian Beasley made the stop after a gain of 7.
An 8-yard pickup and a first down for the Bearcats.
They give it to him. Nice spot. If you're a Booneville fan, at least that was a nice spot. Three rushers now over 50 yards for Booneville in this game.
Bearcats had 13 minutes plus of possession time in the first half. They want to control the clock, and the pitch back goes to Ray again. Looking for room on the right side, gets across the 35-yard line, and that's a good pickup on first down of about 3. They'll give him the 36.
We'll see the toss play go to the fullback very often, but it's clear that Ray's not trying to bounce it to the outside. He's just looking for a little crease to kind of get what the defense will give him. They'll take 3, 4, 5 yards every time on that play because now the clock is on the side of the Bearcats, even though it's early third quarter.
Well, we know they can burn it. They had a almost 7-minute drive in the first half. The handoff goes to Hessen. Hessen takes it over the 40. Looks like he's about a yard shy of the first down. Keyshawn Scales makes the stop for Osceola. He gets about 8 yards on the play.
5-yard pickup.
About 5, really, on the play. It's going to be about 3rd and 1.5, we'll call it.
You can see on the replay just the play fakes in the backfield are causing the Osceola linebackers to take a step the wrong direction. And that's what allows 4 or 5 yards to be run off.
And Booneville going tempo here, and Ray breaks tackles again, and the moose is loose. He gets to the 49-yard line. Winda makes the stop for Osceola. He is, like you said, just a bowling ball.
He really is. Just at a low center of gravity. We've already seen him lower the shoulder and run through tackles. That's what makes him so difficult to get on the ground. Now he's over 1,600 yards on the season, and Booneville already got the offense churning, creeping up on midfield.
Those strong legs just slipping right out of the tackle on that play, and Booneville keeps the drive going. They'll fake it to Ray, bring it on the end around to Robertson, and Robertson turns upfield for a minimal gain. They travel the state with Chuck Dovish on Exploring Arkansas each Wednesday night at 6:30 and weeknights at 10 only on AETN.
They've done a nice job of bottling up Robertson for the most part. Just 38 yards. Updated stats now, 56, 58 yards for Robertson. You know, he's a guy that's averaging 11 yards a carry this season. 38 yards, excuse me.
Well, Booneville on the march, running the clock, doing what they do. Ray makes a man miss in the backfield and gets inside the 40-yard line for another Booneville first down. Stop made by Dan Newsom. 10 yards.
If not anything else, Scott, this is a psyche drive. This is a Booneville offense that knows they've got things working in the first half, and they're just going to maul you. Osceola's got a gut check. They're down 21. It's cold. It's raining. This game feels like it's slipping away. Got to find a way to get a stop.
Well, their offensive line deserves a lot of credit, but you also think about the lead blockers out of the backfield. If you've got 3 guys back there, sometimes you're getting one of those as your lead blocker if you're the ball carrier. Here's Wesson on the end around, and case in point, he got a nice block from Robertson and gets close to the 35-yard line. Jarek Scales runs him out of bounds. About a 3-yard gain.
You don't see this style of football anymore, the old 3 yards in the cloud of dust, but Booneville is getting 4 yards, and you do that 3 times, you're moving the chains. And you know, here we are, we're already 4 minutes into this first quarter. Osceola's defense, hands on their hips, they're just looking for an answer to try to slow down Booneville's offense because they're content with 4 yards every down because that means they're going to stay on the field. The clock's moving, and they're just inching closer to their 4th ever state championship.
They're back up on the ball quickly here, but they had been out of bounds, so the clock is not rolling on this play. Handoff to Ray. Again, shuffles in the backfield to avoid a tackle and gets close to the first down. He'll have it.
Number 6, Carl Miner on the tackle.
7-yard gain and another Booneville first down. Carl Miner makes the stop for Osceola.
Chains are moving again. Here we are. It's another methodical drive for the Bearcats. Now over 250 yards, all on the ground. And, you know, here you go. Come get you some. Booneville's got the crowd back into it. They're pumping them up, and they're saying, I don't think you can stop us. And right now, Osceola's not disagreeing.
Well, it's good vision by the running backs, too, to know where that hole's supposed to be, to trust that it's going to be there. But that offensive line, look at the full set right there. Just looks like there's more than 11 guys out there sometimes. Robertson turns the edge. Good open field tackle, though, to stop him shy of the first down. J.D. Wyndham making a good play. It is a gain of 8.
I think one thing that we're kind of missing here for this Booneville offensive attack, just the patience of the guys. You kind of alluded to it right there. They don't hit the hole necessarily going full speed. They wait for their blockers to set things up, and that's why a 2 or 3 yard game may turn into 7 or 8 because they wait for that extra hat on a hat.
We invite you to support Masterpiece, great performances, nature, and all the great PBS programs you love on AETN by becoming a member at AETN.org. Second and short, it's Ray. Ray behind his lead blocker has the first down. Nearly sprung it for Moore, but he's inside the 10-yard line. Travion Moore makes the stop. 12-yard gain, and it's first and goal for the Bearcats.
Coach Hooks, Osceola coach, just looking for some answers. At this point, you're just going to have to man up. Try to beat the guy in front of you. One play leads to the next, and maybe you can get a ball on the ground because at this point, Osceola needs anything to go their direction because Booneville now almost halfway through this third quarter doing anything and everything they want to with the run game.
And on that run, Schlinker even laid a little bit of a block there. The quarterback for the Bearcats helping the run game. Hand off to Ray. Ray just lowers his head, shuffles his way down to the 5. It's really just almost becoming too easy at this point. I mean, he wasn't even full speed there. Just kind of walked his way down to the 5. The stop made by Jalen Alexander.
Sidesteps a defender in the backfield. That's number 12 for Osceola. He's down on the ground, Marion Vance right now. Just sidesteps him in the backfield and picks up 4 yards when it should have been a tackle for no gain at worst.
So it'll be second down and goal, and we will have an injury timeout. Let's go down and check in with Eric.
The young man is holding his lower left part of his back. I think he just took a shot from a helmet right down on there. And you guys are saying all the right things right now on this game and what Booneville's doing. I know it's probably not going to happen, but that offensive line is my MVP so far. They have been outstanding. And just watching Bobby on this block right here, they keep going until they hear that whistle.
Second and goal. And the ball carrier is Hessen. Osceola meets him at the line of scrimmage that time as he tried to turn it upfield. Jarek Scales stops him, minimal gain, maybe 2, and third down and goal up and coming. Well, Osceola could still get a stop here. They've given up a lot of yardage on this drive, and they've been whipped up front, but they could get a couple of stops here and still be in the game.
12 plays, 72 yards on this drive already. And more importantly, for the guys in purple and gold on the visiting sideline, Booneville, 6.5 minutes now off the clock.
Yep. Hand off Ray. Ray behind his blockers, waiting for room, and he finds it into the end zone for the 4-yard touchdown.
Patience.
Yep.
That's all it was. He just waited for something to open up. He puts his hand on his blocker's back and says, okay, just make me a crease. You see the replay, and he does exactly that. You just don't see this type of patience. Really, really impressive. Nice job by the offensive line, and it really capped off by number 58 in the interior that finishes the guy off, puts him in the end zone, and all of a sudden, we said the worst-case scenario for Osceola, Scott. You don't score before the half. Booneville comes down and scores after the half, and, well, I guess the route is on.
14 plays, 78 yards, almost 7 minutes off the clock. Gavin Kent is on for the point after. It's on the way, and it is good.
294 yards for Booneville of total offense, 294 on the ground.
Wow. Booneville 28. We'll take a break and be back to War Memorial in just a moment. Booneville in charge in the 3A title game. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
28-0 lead for the Bearcats as we get set for the kickoff. Kent will send it away for Booneville. Back deep for Osceola, Peyton Burks and J.D. Wyndham.
It's gut check time for Osceola. The game's kind of gotten away from you. You're down 4 scores. You can't score 28 points on one possession, no matter how hard you try. So the key for Osceola here, just pick up a first down, get a little confidence, get your offense in the end zone. You never will know what will happen from that point.
Winda backpedaling, makes a nice grab, and let's see what he can do with it. Winda's got room. Shuffles his way over the 40-yard line. A good return. Andrew Robertson with the stop.
The 2 best plays so far for Osceola have been kickoff returns by Winda.
22 yards on the kickoff return. And Osceola will set up at about the 43-yard line. Well, if you're this Osceola offense, when you talk about you can't get 4 touchdowns in one drive, you don't want to veer off the game plan too much, but the reality is there hasn't been a whole lot there that's been consistent.
Well, and not only that, Scott, I'm not sure Osceola's going to get the ball back 4 times. With the way that Booneville has had success running the football and bleeding this clock, so you got to score pretty quickly if you're Osceola.
Cam Turner, talented quarterback, his feet moving, flings it over the middle, complete to Peyton Burks, and Burks gets inside the 50 into plus territory, right at the first down yard marker, and it will be right on it.
Got the drive starter. That's what you need. Osceola hasn't had a lot of success on first down. Just get something going, get a little momentum, and now you can go pace.
Turner's going to throw again. Rifles it out. Incomplete. And that was all about the hit. Greg Hooks was the intended receiver. He had it, and he lost it. It was jarred loose.
Yeah, Ethan Dobbs caused the fumble on the opening possession of the drive, or opening possession of the game, had the interception in the end zone. The big hit there knocks the ball loose, forcing the 3rd down. He's had a really big day, and he's been by far their best secondary member all season. 9 pass deflections, 7 interceptions, including today.
And that's the #1 receiver for Osceola, too. And Hooks came in with 42 catches.
3rd down in the yard.
Let's see if they go to him again on 3rd down or keep it on the ground. They will keep it on the ground with Winda, and Winda looks to have the first down. It's close, but I think he got to the 47-yard line, and they are going to mark him there. So that'll move the sticks. Court Mizell makes the stop for Booneville.
Yeah, Osceola not a lot of room in the middle because of Mizell, 351 pounds. Got just enough there. But again, clock's not really your friend. You'll take a first down when you can get it. You got to probably pick up the pace a little more and try to get yourself back in this football game.
Turner with a little bit of time, but I think he got it in a little bit of a hurry. Heard the footsteps and fired it in there. Incomplete, intended for Travion Moore.
Noah Reyes and Marcus Nichols converge on the quarterback, the 2 leading sackers for this team. There's not a lot of pressure as far as Booneville for this game, but Reyes and Nichols get there at the same time, force the early throw, and no chance for his receiver to make a play.
Well, Osceola has definitely decided to rely on the throwing arm of Cam Turner. They threw on first down both times out, and now we've got a motion penalty coming up.
Get their tackle starting a little early.
The snap, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
You know, as a former offensive lineman, I'm going to vouch for my guy here. You go to the line, you make him line up, and all of a sudden you look at the sidelines. He's got to stay in his stance 5, 10, 15, sometimes even 20 seconds. So not his fault completely, even though the flag was on him. Just love for my big guys.
See what makes Arkansas schools great. Check out spirit videos from schools around the state at aetn.org/sports. Turner flushed out of the pocket, quick to tuck it and run, and he is going to be hammered. He wants a face mask. Anthony McKesson laid him out after a gain of maybe a half a yard. They'll call it maybe a half a yard.
Yeah, a few guys around the football there, and just Turner has not been given any opportunity to run. Came into this game with 922 yards rushing. Just hasn't been able to get anything going on the ground. And a lot of that has to do with Booneville just playing assignment football, staying in their lanes and saying, hey, you're a good athlete, but you're not going to beat us with your legs.
5 wideouts on this set, 3rd down and 14. Turner in trouble, and Turner is dropped. Andrew Robertson sacks him back at the 43-yard line.
A couple times Booneville has brought pressure from the edge, and a couple times they've come untouched, and that time again Robertson finally gets home. First sack of the game. Turner can get nothing going, and you can tell the frustration level is high for Osceola as they're about to punt away the football.
You can see that in the body language. Frustration has sunk in, and that's your own worst enemy right there.
You know, to win a state championship, you have to play well for 15 weeks at the small school level. And Booneville hasn't been knocked off their path much all season, and today it looks like they're playing some of their best football at the right time. And offensively, defensively, and even special teams, Booneville, not a lot of chinks in the armor right now.
We've got a timeout on the field, gives us the chance to go down to the sidelines, check in with Eric.
Yeah, Scott and Bobby, I think Bobby hit it on the head right there. Osceola, a lot of heads down right now, kicking and just really frustrated, cold. They're all huddling around that heater. And give Booneville credit, though. Everything they've dialed up so far in this second half, it's worked for them. And if they get a 35-0 lead, the lights will be out in this one. We all know it.
All right, Eric, thank you. And I think Bobby made a great point, too, the way the Booneville offense is running clock. I'm not sure Osceola's got enough possessions left at this point. 2:45 left in the third quarter. Seems like a lot of time, but
they may not get the ball back at all.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
I don't know if we're going to see a 14-minute drive, but I don't think Booneville or Scott Hyatt would hate it. And of course, in Arkansas, it gets a 35-point lead. That's a running clock, and that's the last thing any team wants to see, especially here at War Memorial.
But at 4th down and 20, Robert Hooks has no choice but to punt it away for sure. And Jacob O'Kane will set up at his own 31-yard line. Low kick straight down the center of the field, and Booneville's going to let it go, and that's going to mean, it does go. I don't know if he got a piece of it before it got into the end zone, so they're going to down it at about the 4-yard line.
Well, I hate to bring it up, but Booneville already has 2 drives of 90 yards or more, so maybe downing the Bearcats inside the 5, not the best idea.
53-yard punt for O'Kane.
They benefited from the high school rule there. Once it's touched, it's down from where it is touched, and as he knocked it into the end zone. But instead, Booneville taking over on their first 4, and kind of something to watch here. I don't know if you get it on this drive or the next or at any point in this drive, to be honest, with Andrew Robertson just 19 yards away from giving Booneville a second 1,000-yard rusher this season.
Bearcats have thrown the football twice in this game, and they may not throw it again. Motion up front. That's going to back them up on a half the distance.
I try to give my big guys as much love as possible, but can't do it there. Can't defend him.
Prior to the snap, false start.
He's so excited
on the offense. Half the distance, still first down.
Got to be a lot of fun for a lineman, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, because he knows, and the rest of the offensive line knows for Booneville, they're dominating up front. The line of scrimmage is moving, and not the direction the Osceola defense wants it to. And they're being able to have to do anything and everything they want. And when you've got running backs who are hard to tackle, it's a fun day at the offense for the Bearcats front.
They'll give it to Ray. He shuffles around his line blocker. He gets back close to the original line of scrimmage.
Number 12, MJ Vance.
Pickup of about 2. Marlon Vance on the stop for Osceola. And the clock starts again. Close to 14 minutes left in this state championship game, and Booneville pitching the shutout.
I think that's the most impressive aspect of this game so far. Osceola's had 3 chances inside the red zone. You have the stats in front of you, about 440 yards or so of offense per game for Osceola, and right now they're just over 100.
Yep, 421 the average. Here's room for Robertson. He's got the first down right at the yard marker, the 15-yard line. It's an 11-yard pickup. And the chains will move for the Bearcats.
And again, with the first down, that's another 2 or 3 minutes that Booneville's going to be able to bleed off of this clock.
See how shipbuilders create a monstrous cruise ship weighing over 54,000 tons and stretching over 2 football fields on Nova. Ultimate cruise ship airing on AETN Wednesday night at 8. They'll flip it to Hessen. Hessen to the second level and outside the 20-yard line.
The time of possession starting to creep back that other direction. You brought it up in the second quarter. Osceola was starting to even that out a little bit now. It's 7 minutes plus for Booneville in their advantage, and it's just going to continue to go that direction each time Booneville picks up a first down.
Well, so much of this game now about mentality. You talked about the cold weather and the attitude and the momentum building for Booneville, and Osceola doing nothing to resist that right now. Handoff goes to Ray. He is hit at about the line of scrimmage, but his forward progress will get him right at the first down yard marker again. It's a pickup of 2. Scales led the way for Osceola on the stop.
Ray now over 100 yards, so another big day for the fullback from Booneville.
For a Bearcat first down.
Talked about the mentality and the attitude, though. You wonder how the game might have been a little different if Osceola could have scored on even one of those red zone trips. 0 for 3 in the first half in the red zone. Now, one of those was obviously with 2 seconds left. They had one play in the red zone. That's a little bit different story, but they also turned it over on downs, and their quarterback threw an interception. Could be the final play of the third quarter. Ray to the 30, outside, first down.
Number 33, Ray gets free on the outside.
So that's not a guy that's going to step out of bounds.
That's what I was about to say, Scott. And he has a prime opportunity to just step out of bounds, avoid a hit, but no, he's like, you know what, I'm going to take a step back, lower the shoulder, because I haven't hit this guy in a few plays. Let's go ahead and knock him back another yard or 2.
I mean, he's looking for the defender, not the sideline.
He looks like an offensive lineman running the football. He's looking for contact. And to be honest, I mean, that's what you want to see. At this point, you know you're in control. You're having a good time. He's feeling no pain. He's feeling no temperature whatsoever right now. He's like, you know what, just give me the football. Give me somebody to hit.
17 yards for Rays at 119 for the game. And that will be the final play of the third quarter as Andrew Robertson carries it to the 45-yard line. A 3-yard pickup. And we've got 12 minutes of action left to go. The Booneville Bearcats, the sidelines, and their fans can feel it coming on. We'll be back to War Memorial after this. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
You won't find it written in the sky.
Art can be seen as so foundational to civilization.
You can't buy to get to it tonight.
It just had an electrifying impact on me.
What we found was amazing.
Why not be absolutely outrageous?
It came like a razor blade.
Art is a mirror of the experiences of being here.
Set to begin the fourth quarter of action, and hey, you may hear 3 voices on this broadcast, but there are a lot of men and women that are involved in putting this thing on the air, and you're seeing a few of them now. And on a day like today, this is hard work. It may be fun to watch football, it may be fun to shoot football games, but hats off to our camera guys for the work they're doing bringing you the broadcast today. Great job.
Yeah, not just today. The work they've done the last 2 weekends, Scott, has been really outstanding. For everybody. Production, you, RJ,
Fumble on the play here. Ray lost it, and Osceola picks it up. They
picked up at the 47-yard line by number 10.
That was Dobbs rather than Ray, but Osceola
and return for the Seminoles
is going to get the football back. A big turnover there. Sorry to interrupt, Bobby.
No, you're good. That's more important, but I was just going to finish that. Just hats off to everybody involved, including yourself, RJ. Who's the other guy out there? The guy in the red hat. I guess we'll give Eric a little love. He's weathering the elements today. So yeah.
He's done a great job.
Kudos to all you guys.
You want to trade, Bobby? I'll go up there.
Yeah,
I'll go up there if you come down here for a minute.
I'll get you right after the broadcast. How about that?
And there's our other red hat official, by the way.
Yeah.
He's keeping us on our TV timeouts.
And guys, I want to mention the rain has picked up the heaviest it's been since yesterday and today.
So Cam Turner leads Osceola back out with a chance to get off of the goose egg, and they get a low snap right away, and Turner just flings it, and it's intercepted.
It's Hessen.
Intercepted by Hessen, and Hessen returns it up the sidelines near midfield, a 23-yard return, and Osceola just can't get anything to go their way.
When pardon the pun, but when it rains, it pours. A bad snap, you just throw it up, and it's going to one of Booneville's better running backs, the guy who's already got 5 interceptions coming into this game. And again, Booneville got the ball at midfield, and that's just what you can't. The mistakes you can't make at this level. It's again Booneville's offense back on the field.
They get updates and news about the state finals right on your phone. You can text AETN Sports to 313131.
So Osceola finally gets something to go their way, and they give it right back. That's just kind of how the day's been for them.
Well, Booneville picks up right where they left off, intent to run some clock time again. Ray and Robertson in the backfield behind Schlinker. This is Ray. Good footwork to get inside the 45-yard line.
It's simple to think about it, Scott, that they're going to get the ball to Ray, but I like giving it right back to him. Just turn the football over, put it on the ground, get the confidence back up. Surely the game is almost out of hand at this point, but never too early or too late to build the confidence in these young men.
Got a few folks who've left the stadium, but I'll tell you, the Booneville crowd is not going anywhere.
No. If they leave, that means they're going to get hot chocolate from the concession stand.
They're coming back.
Coming right back.
Save their seat. Maybe dry it off before I get back.
Buy a new poncho.
2nd and 4.
Ray again. Right up the gut of that Osceola defense, and that's going to be another first down. Jalen Alexander with the stop for the Seminoles.
At the 41.
Noah Ray is finishing off a block 5, 6, 7 yards down the field, and he's loving it. Number 28 lined up as tight end.
4 more yards.
They can smell it. If you're Booneville, new set of downs. That's just 3 more opportunities to run the football.
3 state titles for this Booneville program. This is their 9th appearance. The last time was 2013, looking for their 4th state championship, and well on their way. Ray. Big hole again.
Inside the 25.
Those strong legs get him inside the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 6.
Galdi saves a touchdown there. Looked like he was breaking free, and he's one young man for the Osceola defense has had himself a nice day. He led the team in tackles in the first half. He's been on a lot of action.
Well, Seminoles still fighting. Can't lay down here.
We'll think of a team waiting until 1 second on the play clock with 10 minutes left in the game. That's exactly what Booneville's doing.
3 and 2 and almost a 1. They give to Hessen. And Hessen may be turned away shy of the first down marker. Chris Williams with the stop. It's only a gain of about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. 9.5 to play. This will be game 1 of our doubleheader on AETN Sports today. The 4A state championship game coming your way tonight. 6:30 kickoff. Will be on the air at 6 o'clock with the pregame show as Arkadelphia and Robinson go at it in a rematch from the regular season. 2 conference foes. Should be a good one.
Badgers defending 4A state champions.
And you want to talk about a community that will be here. Both of those. Yeah. Robinson will have a big following, and Arkadelphia may have the whole town here too. Around the end, it's Robertson again, and Robertson has the first down yardage. Does go out of bounds. The only thing negative for Booneville there. 2 yards on the pickup.
You got to hope that Robertson gets one more carry. I don't have a dog in this fight, but 998 yards on his season. I'd like to see him get over that 1,000-yard mark, especially as just a junior. So the state of Arkansas in Class 3A can not only welcome a starting quarterback back for Booneville next year, a 1,000-yard rusher, Ideally, you think so, and they've got a lot of weapons. But then again, at Booneville, there really are no down years. Just kind of reload and do it all over again.
Here's Ray again. Bounces off a blocker and winds up to deliver the lick inside the 25-yard line, brought down by J.D. Wenda. A 9-yard gain.
You ever seen a running back looking for people to hit?
I mean, he kind of lowered. I mean, he squatted to bring it in. I mean, it was a.
I see you. Come on.
That was as much preparation to deliver a blow as I've ever seen.
144 now for Carson Ray.
Scott and Bobby, think about Earl Campbell. The great Earl Campbell was in Little Rock a couple of weeks ago for the Touchdown Club, David Bass's Touchdown Club, and he would be really proud to watch this young man play football.
Yeah, he is old school. There's no question about it. Ray again, and Ray with a hole inside the 5. Touchdown, Booneville.
Carson Ray. The previous run or why runs like that happen. You deliver blows. They get tired of tackling you. And Osceola is quite tired of tackling or attempting to tackle Carson Ray into the end zone. Touchdown number 32 on the season, and we're an extra point away from the sportsmanship rule in the state title game, which I would not have predicted that coming into today's game.
21-yard touchdown run by Carson Ray. He's at 165 yards on the day.
And missed the majority of the second quarter.
Well, Eric said he'd like to see it go to the offensive line. They'll share in it, but Ray may be well on his way to being the MVP.
Yeah, there are 5 MVPs. You add a couple tight ends into that, and you really can't ignore the blockers as well. I mean, it's a total team effort for Booneville. Sometimes even the quarterback gets out there as the lead blocker. When you've got 10 guys willing to put a hat on a hat, that's how you run for 383 yards in a state championship game.
Booneville headed towards a state title. Back to the stadium after this. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Why choose local? Because local companies stay rooted in their communities. They support other local businesses and provide jobs for your friends and neighbors. At Fidelity Communications, we take great pride in being a local company that's dedicated to the communities we serve. Jobs and opportunities for the people you love. That's why you choose local. Fidelity Communications. We're here, we're local. Be connected with Fidelity, your local internet, TV, and home phone provider.
There have been 26 shutouts in state championship history. The last one was 2013, Junction City against Desark. The Dragons shut out Desark 60-0, and that was the largest margin of defeat in state championship history. That ball is loose. I think Osceola pounces on it. If this score holds up, or if Osceola does not get on the board and the score holds up, this would be the 27th shutout, and it would be the 4th biggest margin. Hey, fans, at the end of this game, state champions merchandise will be available online at ArkansasHighSchoolSports.com. Get the same merchandise available at the stadium online at the conclusion of this game. Get your gear at ArkansasHighSchoolSports.com.
Just in case we don't get the chance from here on out, Scott, you got to give the 5 guys up front for Booneville a lot of credit. Grayson Slinker, Mark Falonsuk, Sammy Haynes, Marcus Nichols, and Ethan Paraglia. Outstanding job today up front for those guys. They're my MVP. Maybe for Eric, too. They just may not get a trophy for it.
They brought their lunch pail today. Worked through lunch. 1st and 10. The give is to Wenda. Wenda has to bounce it outside and will be dropped for a loss. by Noah Reyes at the 25-yard line. It's a loss of 2.
Just 103 yards of total offense for this Osceola squad.
That's been the surprise to me. It's not so much that Booneville has put up the offense that they have, but that Osceola's offense has been shut down.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, Booneville has just outflanked them. They've outmanned them up front. They've done everything. I'm not going to say they played a perfect game, but it's been pretty close.
And Turner just fires it into the sidelines. Not exactly sure what happened there. I don't see a flag. He took the snap and just immediately threw it into the sidelines.
I mean, if you really want to get nitpicky, that should probably be intentional grounding. I don't know if I've actually seen that. And the clock should be running because it is the sportsmanship rule. But
that starts back up on the official's whistle, but I'm not sure what was going on there. Turner throws wide, off the mark, intended for Travion Moore. Hey, you can watch all the championship games as many times as you want online beginning Monday at aetnsports.org.
Looks like they're not going to actually count that down.
Let me correct that. aetn.org/sports. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Looks like they're not going to count the down, so we got third down coming up. So whatever it was.
Well, they maybe were trying to, I don't know, but they didn't stop. Nobody called timeout.
Yeah, not going to show up in the box score at least.
Okay. Now the officials are going to.
Nope, they are going to count the down.
Okay.
So it is fourth down. Oh, so a little lost words here.
We've had 2 consecutive incompletions. And this is fourth down.
And that'll bring out the punting unit. A lot of confusion on this series.
Well, Booneville will get the ball back. And, hopefully we can see Robertson get 1 carry, get a couple yards, get him to the 1,000-yard mark. Then, the way they've played in this second half especially, you might think that was the last time the Osceola offense was walking off the field.
Jacob O'Kane will come out to punt it away, and Booneville's not going to send anybody deep for the return.
On to punt number 59, Jacob O'Kane for the Seminoles.
End over end punt. Takes a bit of an Osceola bounce and will be blown dead at the 49-yard line of the Seminoles.
I think we're going to get an illegal block. One of the personal protectors in the backfield went low on I believe it was Reyes, the Booneville defender, and I believe that's going to be a 15-yard called a chop block or illegal block below the waist. They put in that rule because it's a dangerous play.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist on the kicking team. Declined. It'd be first down for Booneville.
Punt was 24 yards for O'Kane. First and 10 Booneville at the 49-yard line.
So the Bearcats will only have to run a handful of plays with that running clock. And they will have their 4th state title in school history.
Went back in 2013, beat a Warren team on a night very similar to tonight. I believe that was 14-12, not nearly as many points. And the Bearcats going to take out the starters.
Those linemen and those running backs.
What a year for those guys.
Boy, an undefeated season. They'll finish 15-0. What a year it has been indeed. And the snap is fumbled. But it looks like Booneville fell on it. Ty Goff is in at quarterback, and Ethan Wooldridge fell on the loose ball.
Hey, Scott and Bobby, if you can hear me.
Go ahead.
Coach Hyatt, watching closely as his backups are in. He's going to coach this last 4.5 minutes, I promise you.
He's not 115-33 for nothing. He's got to prepare for next year.
As soon as that ball was snapped and muffed there, he's like, you got to be kidding me. I was like, oh, my gosh, I love this guy.
Yep, he was no fan of that. This is Ethan Wooldridge getting a chance, and he is going to be thrown back by Jason Ugaldi. No gain on the play.
Outstanding day. If you're Scott Hyatt and you're that senior class for Booneville, you think, okay, what's the perfect scenario for us? Turnover on the opening possession on defense, a 30-yard touchdown run on your very first play in the state championship game, and it's just been smooth sailing essentially from that point for the Bearcats.
Tell you what, for these guys, it's exciting, like the quarterback Ty Goff and Ethan Wooldridge. They're getting some championship PT.
Number 14, Colton Ritchie. For the Seminoles, Travion Moore, number 4. And Wanda, number 23. On the stop.
Got out today.
104 yards of total offense for Osceola.
Yes.
Time of possession really slanted one direction. Now 26.5 to just 15.5. That's going to get worse after this play. But you're exactly right, Eric. That defense for Booneville, the front, the linebackers, the secondary, they've really done it with all 11. Almost a perfect effort from that side.
And I'm with Scott. I think the surprising thing is Osceola's offense today. We really thought we were going to see some really special stuff from them.
Wooldridge again with the carry, and Wooldridge will carry tacklers down to the 41-yard line.
Just short of the first down.
Yeah, he is.
So the Osceola offense one more time. Yeah, you're right, Scott. I mean, these guys probably weren't expecting to see a whole lot of playing time, if any. And now the backup offense getting reps in the state championship game. And if they're fortunate enough to make a run the next couple seasons, reps like this come back and are quite beneficial because, I mean, you look at the starting lineup. Evan Schlinker, the quarterback, just a junior. Andrew Robertson, just a junior. I mean, the cupboard's not going to be completely bare for Booneville. But you lose in Carson Ray, 32 touchdowns and 1,700 yards and some change.
Real impressed with him today. Strong young man, and as we've talked about several times, really a throwback in today's game of football. Old school fullback running. Cam Turner, who's had a hard time finding room to run, finding open receivers, and the streak continues here.
Looks like Booneville's even got the reserves in on defense.
Yep,
making a few plays.
Devin Catlett makes the stop on Cam Turner. And the final few plays of this 3A state championship game. Turner on the end around to Tobar. Tobar gets close to the original line of scrimmage before he's turned back. It's about a 3-yard gain. And the clock under 2:20.
Not a single person has left the bleachers on the visiting side. They are ready to celebrate this. The town, the team, you name it, from Booneville, they're here.
Ray's going to swing it out to Winda. Winda gets by one Booneville Bearcat, and he'll have close to the first down. In fact, he'll have it. He didn't step out of bounds until the Booneville 45-yard line. Well, for Osceola, they're just trying to make this get on the board and avoid the shutout. Nobody wants to ever be shut out. There's a little bit of positivity in getting a touchdown on the board here before the game ends.
Kind of the modified sportsmanship rule. They are stopping the clock at times. I'm okay with it.
Turner again to Winda. Winda looking to get into space and won't be able to. The Bearcats ride him down after maybe a 2-yard pickup. Ethan Wooldridge, who was in at running back for the Booneville offense, one of the first guys to make the stop.
You know, that's one thing I love about small school football, Scott. Guys play both ways. They do it all. They never leave the field. We saw a lot last night with Hazen in Junction City, just Iron Man football.
Turner going deep. He's got Tobar, but he underthrew it. Clock will keep running. Ty Goff in coverage for the Bearcats, and it's third down. Bearcats set on defense. Osceola could just snap it one more time, likely here, if they choose to.
We've seen some dominant defensive efforts over the 2 weekends of championships. Obviously, Bryant comes to mind, what they did to North Little Rock, shutting them down. But for an offense to average more than 400 yards and to have just 120 before that play for Osceola, got to tip the hat to the Booneville Bearcat defense. They have been anything and everything they were supposed to be, and maybe even a little bit more.
Scales with the first down reception. It's a gain of 9.
And he was tackled by 32.
They do stop the clock again and now start it. Final 15 seconds. This could be it. And Turner avoids the rush. Now he's going to run, and he's got room. Inside the 20, gets a big block. He's inside the 10, stood up, though, at the 7-yard line, and Osceola will be denied. They'll be shut out 35-0. And the Bearcats of Booneville are state champions. There is a flag down. We'll have to wait and see.
Blindside block on the offense. Penalty decline. Game over.
On the offense, so the game will end on that play. And the celebration, which has been going on since the beginning of the fourth quarter, quite frankly, can now hit full force.
They dream of doing it. Entire high school career, and the Booneville Bearcats a perfect 15-0. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the only undefeated team in Arkansas high school football this season.
I think you're right. North Little Rock's the only one that was even coming into a title game, I think.
Greenwood went 12-1 to win the 6A title. Little Rock Christian had a loss. Hazen was undefeated going into last night.
Right.
Junction City pulled the win there. So, and teams tonight in the 4A championship game have losses. So Booneville going in the next season, the only team with an active winning streak, 15 games.
Wow. That is special, a special season for Scott Hyatt and the Booneville Bearcats. No question about it, undefeated and a dominant performance to win a state championship.
Not shocking, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns. Carson Ray, 3A state championship game MVP. And the second half, he was just looking for people to deliver punishment to.
Some of the final numbers, total yardage in favor of Booneville, 391 to 152. Ran all of that, all 391 on the ground. Held Osceola to 60 yards passing. Here are some of the numbers. The penalties even. The first downs lopsided for Booneville. The third down conversions. Osceola was actually 50% on third down. Booneville converting 2 of 4 on fourth down. That was big. And then you still go back to where the game was decided in the first half. And Osceola 0 for 3 in the red zone. Booneville 3 for 3. And that time of possession, that is what Coach Hyatt wanted, quite frankly, when he talked to us in the pregame interview. We want to control the clock, and they certainly did that.
The score had a lot to do with it as we get ready to toss down to Eric on the sidelines, but they had a 3-minute advantage in the time of possession at halftime. You see the final stats of the game, and Booneville almost 11 minutes in their advantage.
Let's go down to Eric Sullivan.
All right, where's Coach Hyatt, the state championship winning coach, executed in the second half just like you said you wanted to do when we talked to you?
Yeah, that's the big thing. You know, teams like these guys that can score real quick, you know, just try to control the ball, control the clock, and that gives us a chance to win.
The run game is what you live on, and man, I thought several guys, including your star, but who got to come back. It was good to see Ray back in. Everybody chipped in on that running game.
Oh, ain't no doubt. You know, Coach Crowley did a great job with the game plan, and they executed it well tonight.
How about that offensive line of yours? They like this weather, don't they?
They love it. You know, we get out and play in the mud all the time, so I mean they just love this kind of weather.
All right, this is your entire town behind you's in those bleachers. They stood with you all season. They stood with you through the day. Give them a shout out, Coach.
Oh yeah, shout out to the town, man. That's great support. Elementary school had a pep rally for us on the way to the game, and the whole town was aligned with the streets coming down here. It was crazy, but yeah, they support us. We're proud of them.
And being called a state champ never, ever gets old. That's what you got into this for.
That's exactly right. It never gets old. I love it.
All right, go back to your Booneville football town there. You guys love it. Not RJ, but Scott and Bobby will get the MVP here in a moment.
All right, Eric, thank you very much. We are going to crown Booneville in the afternoon and crown the 4A state champion tonight. We'll be back on the air on AETN Sports at 6 o'clock with the pregame show, and 6:30 the kickoff time. Booneville over Osceola 35-0. Thanks for watching the 3A title game on AETN Sports.